Hello, hello, hello. I was about to have a different Red Hot Chili Pepper song play on my other playlist, and instead we get Under the Bridge acoustic. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Starting a little bit later than normal tonight. Woke up late, and I had to set up some things. One of the first things that I had to set up that I'm going to show you guys all right now is that your boy has finally put together a green screen. We've done it. I don't know if I'm going to stay up in this corner. I'm thinking it might be better for me to move into like this corner maybe. Um but I don't know. Also my shirt has a little bit of green in it, and so I'm kind of see through a little bit. And I don't know why the black I don't know why the black picks up like that. But I'm wondering if maybe it's better for me to be in this corner now that I have a green screen so that I take up less space. So I think I might do that. Um, I think I still have a little bit of fiddling to do with the green screen, in terms of like opacity, opacity, opaque, Gundam style. Um, that's too high. There's like a sweet spot that I had. That's too light. It's like right here, maybe 272. But there is like I don't know what that the thin mint is. I don't know why I'm like leaking through. There we go. There we go. That's better. I've been fucking with it a lot, trying to find, that good point. And I think that I got it. But hello, we have a green screen now. That's the thing. Um I've been waiting for a really long time to get a green screen. So it's really awesome now that I have one. Um I am a lot more comfortable now that I have a green screen up to just even leave my cam up for longer. Although, for RP's sake, it's probably preferable to leave it off for the immersion. But, yeah, that's a thing. As for today, what do we have in store today? Um, Opacity. There you go. um, we have a seniors meeting today, in about a half hour, up at Fort Wallace, which we're gonna need to attend to. So that's gonna be where we go to. We'll probably just do a little bit of a check-in, see what's going on, see if there's any paperwork I need to touch up on. But since it's only about a half hour till the seniors meeting, we're probably not going to do too much. At least not on duty wise, because of the seniors meeting. It's an important meeting. Let's see what this telegram is. Cooper, thank you, Maple. I appreciate it. Okay, no problem, Bucko. Let's send word to Roxanne. Roxanne. Um, have a meeting to attend. Have unknown of time. Um, can to stay out of trouble until after. Stay safe and we'll see you tonight. Love, Sean. Okay. Do 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 do. Bam 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 ba ba dum. Guys, we're actually closing in on 4K. 3931. We're closing in on 4,000 followers. That's pretty fucking amazing.
Wasn't quite there.
Oh my gosh.
Still my opinion at the moment as well.
Right, which
Patty Maple.
I do think just comes down to you as a person, which is fine. But I do think that once you can kind of work yourself through that hesitation and through that kind of block that you put up for yourself, I think that that's something that you just need to be able to have a little bit more of, that kind of confidence, just in yourself and in your work.
Feedback?
I do think also that I know in situations where sometimes you've come in the middle or toward the end of it, I think sometimes you might get a little bit overwhelmed. That is also something to kind of, I guess, just keep an eye on yourself on. It's not something that I'm saying happens all the time or like debilitate you or anything, but I think you kind of just, everybody suffers from it from time and time, just getting kind of caught up in the chaos of something, and you have a really level head, so you don't need to be getting yourself kind of worked up into that. So I think just if you're able to kind of keep that levelness that you already have, which I think mainly just comes down to, you know, remembering to take that breath, I think you'd be fine in that regard.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But that's mine. I think another person kind of brought up the hesitance, which kind of touches on what I had already said with you.
Yeah, Cameron mentioned just in general that I'm quick to.
What are your film studies in college? You're trained on how to use green screen filters and keyers?
I mean,
really?
I would describe it as like shirking responsibility for things. He didn't describe it that way, but that's another way of phrasing it, which is true. I definitely do that.
I think what it comes down to is it's not an issue delegating and putting other people in charge of things, because there is leadership in knowing who the right people are in that situation and time. And I think that you are good at that. And I see that as leadership, not as shirking or anything like that, just to be clear, because that's the same way that I like to lead things, is sometimes just knowing who needs to be the person in charge.
Hello, sorry, I had dust in my ears.
Howdy.
But making sure that you also can show, maybe to others, that you don't have the issue of stepping forward as well. That might be something that would be good as well in the long run. I think that you're still capable of that, but sometimes maybe stepping forward a little bit more might help. Just kind of remind people that you're not just somebody that's in the background.
No, that's fair. I mean, it probably comes down to I talked to Cameron yesterday. There's a lot of different considerations that I try to think about before asking somebody else to lead something. But
yeah, and like I said,
definitely one of them is, thinking that somebody else is in a better position to do it than myself, right? So that's part of that, is that confidence thing, I'm sure.
It definitely comes down to that a bit, and sometimes I think kind of a little bit of all of what I've said overlaps a little bit, and maybe just kind of shows up in different ways to different perspectives.
Meeting in a half hour.
But I think it's all stuff that's really not necessarily an issue, and more just once you feel comfortable and feel that confidence, it'll just show in your work. Right. And that just comes with time and patience and just actively doing it, I think, more than anything.
No, that's fair.
But
Sanctum and I had a conversation about this yesterday too, but
Mhm.
I personally don't think we need, like 20 sheriffs, because no matter how many sheriffs you have,
No.
we're just gonna have the same issue of sheriffs get bogged down in work. But we just need some way to alleviate some of the pressure on the sheriffs, and I feel like we have enough senior deputies to do that.
Correct. Yeah. And what I will say, and there may be a misconception, is that I personally very firmly and
Hello,
in
Sanctum.
pushing such a view that undersheriff is not something that is a guarantee that you are to be a sheriff. That is something that
Right.
needs to be knocked out of people's heads. I think that there's a conception
Makes
of
sense.
that, and it's not the case. It is a rank like any other. That rank is not a guarantee. Just like becoming a senior is not a guarantee to being a sheriff.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. I think that there will be some people that perhaps become undersheriff at some point that may just be better suited to being an undersheriff. Maybe they're just really good at handling seniors, and we notice that, and we don't necessarily think that they need to take on the duties of a sheriff, or that they don't necessarily want it either. That maybe they're perfectly content handling a specific set of responsibilities as an undersheriff, and that's it. And that's okay. There's probably going to be people like that. Or maybe there's people that need more time, more observing, more working directly with sheriffs, and maybe they take a while before they eventually work their way up to a sheriff. That is also something that is completely possible, much like a senior becoming anything afterwards. Same with deputies becoming seniors, so on and so forth.
Right.
But then there's also going to be people that maybe aren't an undersheriff for too long. Maybe they just need a little bit of advisement. They need to just get their feet wet, work their way up briefly, and maybe they become sheriffs after that. And that's fine too.
Like my man Sheriff Cameron.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That one probably maybe needs a demotion. I don't know. He's getting too full of himself.
we just move Sheriff Sand back here to Strawberry, and just Cameron chose roads, so just make sure he knows it and regrets it later.
Yeah, he can take over that curse. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways things can go. There's no guarantees with anything. You know,
1, 2,
it's
2,
just
6, 4.
the way it is. And that might just be something that, because it's new, that there's people that express interest, and I just want to make sure that people's interest is for the right reasons, because the same people that I'm hearing have expressed an interest in undersheriff through the grapevine are not people that have ever expressed wanting to be a sheriff. So there's a difference in potentially motive, and I want to know what that motive is.
Well, I'll
Because,
just say that the
you know.
names that I mentioned, like
Mhm.
I was thinking about them before any kind
Right.
of conversation with them, right? So
1, 2, 2,
No,
6,
I
4.
figured in your case that probably was. So don't think I'm mentioning it for that.
But
But
I think part of it too is just like the understanding that I feel like there is a gap between senior deputy and sheriff, and people who might become interested in undersheriff maybe are doing so with the expectation that there's an increased level of I guess accountability and guidance, above, instead of just having all that accountability to people, expecting things of you from below.
yeah,
It's a little less responsibility, I guess, and a little bit more guidance. So I could understand why people would feel differently about that. Then
yeah, we definitely need to probably write some more things out, but that's kind of coming in time as this role is developed and such, and this rank is developed. But yeah, there's there's definitely some kinks that need to be worked out. And just an understanding, I guess, from a department level.
Seems the most flexible, active without too much HR.
I
Like a
don't
no
want
pixel
to steal
lieutenant.
too much
Yeah.
more of your time here before this meeting. It looks like
No, you're fine.
Sanctum is in the room here if you wanted to have a conversation.
Howdy.
I owe you a apology.
Oh,
A well-deserved apology, obviously.
oh, what's going on?
I clearly was not okay that night. From what I've heard, I was heavily under the influence. Now that is
Oh.
no excuse for the
Oh
actions
my god,
that
so
that I took.
awkward.
with Kettleman. And I believe it's my fault that you were taken. And I 100% owe you an apology for that. I realized my mistake.
Oh my god, this is so
And
awkward
I
to
hope
be
you
here
can,
for, but
you
I
can
don't want to
forgive me
go
for
into
that.
it.
I can forgive the mistake for myself. I think it would also be wise of you to speak with Bellatrix, if I'm being completely honest, in regards to the situation that you put her in. I'm very glad she was not taken. But she certainly was just as much at risk, if not more, being as close to Jack as she was.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie that I am, on a more personal level, fairly pissed off. But
This is so awkward.
I'm sure that that situation was not gonna go too many different ways, even if you hadn't spoken. Jack is a fucking idiot. He made it very clear during the length of conversation that I was stuck there having with him that he is a fucking idiot. And that he has no rhyme or reason for what he's doing. But at the end of the day, we need to be making sure that we're not putting other people at risk. And Jack is somebody that is easily offended over words. Even if they're words that you don't have control over. And I know that you don't drink much. If you hadn't have been drunk, this would be an entirely different conversation, and I probably would be skinning you a new one over it, because it is ridiculous.
T-sip,
It
T-sip,
even got to
T-sip,
that point.
T-sip.
I can guarantee to you that if I was not drunk, I wouldn't have said probably 75% of the things that I said.
T-sip, 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 T-sip.
'Cause I know Jack. But I could not control myself in that situation. And I'm sorry. I'm glad that you're alive. I'm also glad that Bella was not taken as well. I'll have a conversation with her.
I think that would be best with her. Just so that it's clear that, this is not something that's going to happen again. We're not going to be putting any of their department at risk and anything like that. I don't think she's reached out. I've not heard anything, at least, from talking to her. But I do know that it would be good for the medical department to know, at least, that, it's not a mistake that's going to happen again.
Yeah, we have a pretty good relationship. She didn't say anything to me about it either.
Nonetheless, I'll still have a conversation with her. It's definitely owed.
I don't think it would hurt.
No, it can't hurt. I'm sorry for not reaching back out on your telegram. The day I checked it, I wasn't responding to anything. I just kind of flipped through things and then left. But I was not trying to avoid this, just for the record.
No, that's fine. You needed time. It's understandable.
This is just so
As long
fucking
as
awkward.
I was able to speak with you. That's all that I care about.
I don't want to go anywhere.
I do appreciate that you reached out. And I'm glad that we got to talk rather than it falling later.
I am as well. As soon as Bishop told me you were here, I raced here.
That rat, he mentioned
I wasn't supposed to say that. It didn't come from me.
Yeah, okay. It's fine, it's fine.
I don't think anybody would ever accuse you of running from an argument or conversation or whatever, Sheriff. I don't think you get tired of winning.
Good answer. Very good answer.
At least I never do.
Oh. Nah, I was just coming here to read files. I didn't expect anybody to mention where I was. That's all.
Well, we've got about 20 minutes
I think it slipped up.
for that meeting.
Nah, it's fine, it's fine.
Sanctum, do you still want a few of us to get there early and go through that list and see if we want to thin it out a little bit? Otherwise, we might be talking for fucking hours.
I mean, we can go through it right now if you want.
All I know is that it cannot be as circular as a fucking meeting as that last one was. I know it was months back, but never again.
Yeah, I'm saying that in the beginning, that we're gonna have a lot of people there. A lot of people are gonna have opinions. We need to narrow it down and get on the same page as quickly as possible with the topics that are gonna be discussed. Otherwise, like you said, we will be going in circles for a long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be letting y'all obviously lead and talk things out, but if it gets circular, I certainly will be saying something as well to just pull it back.
Mm-hmm. What is it that because you wrote here wanted list? Is there something on the wanted list that wanted to be spoken about? Because I don't know.
I mean, we have several individuals that have been wanted for a long time. We're already taking procedures of taking patrols out west and looking for people on the wanted list. I would just like to remind people that we should be going out on routine patrols. At least I have been up north, Amberino, et cetera. Areas that we don't frequent patrol, rather than just going from town to town.
As long as I can have actually a breather down here when shit's burning down, I will always be happy to take the lead up there. It is my town.
That's what I meant by wanted list. I didn't want to write out a whole description of what I wanted to talk about.
That'll be probably a quick brief one. What current proposals do we have up?
That's what I wanted to know. If seniors have proposals, ideas,
Bring
that
them
they
up
should
then.
be brought forward.
Okay.
Same thing with operations. That kind of falls in the same category. Like we have Autumn, we have Phalanx that hasn't been used in a long time. That sort of
Phalanx
thing.
is the checkpoint one, right?
Yes. I
I
tried to
think-
find the report on it, but I couldn't find it. It might have been renamed. I'm not sure.
I think Cameron, or I think Beckwith has been running Phalanx more recently, especially
Okay.
down in New Austin. He's been wanting to set up multiple checkpoints on some of the major arteries down there and see if we can get lucky.
Okay. And the important one is communication when it comes to the bulletin. We send out a lot of bulletins on a day-to-day basis, and it seems as if deputies are not reading them, like specifically not going into Van Horn, or making sure that you're going in there with a fucking reason and, being smart about it. Areas of concern, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like some things are just overlooked, or they're read but not understood. You know what I mean? Having one deputy in Armadillo and only one deputy in Armadillo sitting there waiting to get captured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Scheduling events is already being taken care of. We had an event yesterday. It was really good.
It's a great time.
Having those more frequently would be amazing.
We really need to tell people that the announcement board is not for a lot of this. This Kyle Rowe one from Mercer. This is a file. Doesn't need to be
Yeah.
an announcement. This Mills
just talking about that
targeting
yesterday.
Marietta is also a file, not an announcement. I mean, I'm almost ready to tell deputies that they can't post on here. I'm seeing Mercer does it often. I don't want to do that, but it's just getting a little ridiculous.
Right. It seems that a lot of deputies don't know about moonshine, or they know about them but don't know the routes. There is literally a file in general procedures that I helped write in regards to all of the routes, all the locations, people who frequently do it, the tactics that we should be using. Basically, just reminding seniors to tell people about that. What's actually used.
This is the same one from way back in the day, isn't it?
Way back. McCarthy wrote a lot of it. I also wrote a lot of it. It was a very long time ago when I first was becoming a deputy.
Could we maybe have some seniors, maybe yourself included, or leading it, perhaps take people on these routes and spots? Maybe set up like a scheduled day or something?
100%. I took Frost earlier today to Wildflower. We checked it out, and then we went to the Cumberland Forest Distillery as well.
We might want to take Clementine off this dossier list.
That'd be a smart idea.
Really? It's a little
Well, you could
outdated.
Just leave her on there. Piece of history.
Mm-hmm.
Negotiations and pursuits.
Otis.
The reason why that's on there is because we need to remind people that if there is somebody leading the group, they are leading the group. Same thing goes with negotiations. If they are negotiating, they are negotiating. You don't need people overstepping and, potentially ruining the pursuit or the negotiation.
So just out of curiosity, like this is a senior meeting, right? So what is the expected delivery method for this, I guess, discussion then, like to the deputy level? Like, is every senior going to be expected to, every time they're in a room with several deputies, to reiterate all the points, or like to, talk to
Not all
individual
of them.
deputies?
Not all the points, but it would be nice to make sure that seniors are informing deputies about these things, like with negotiating, with pursuits, moonshine, the operations that we have, any proposals that we come up with in the future, the bulletin board, how it should be used. I don't want to make, like her says, I don't want to make a million bulletins reminding deputies about this shit. I want seniors just to tell people about this shit. You know what I mean? Like actively.
I see.
Yeah, I agree. It's difficult, right? Like it's, let's say there's 20 things that we decide on, and then, I see Deputy Bishop, and I have this conversation with him, and then you see him later, and you have this conversation with, and then I see a different, like it's, there's got to be like a centralized method of doing that. So I feel
think-
like you
this is
don't want to write
100%.
20 bulletins. You write like one bulletin, and then maybe just have people make sure that these things are being enforced.
I think
and
this is
having-
something that we'll discuss at the meeting in full, because we're gonna have to repeat it again and again. Because I think everybody can
Yeah,
come up
that's
with
fair.
ideas as to how we're gonna bring it to the rest of the department.
That's fair. I mean, it also depends on the thing, right? So, like, increased patrols, seniors can initiate those.
Mhm.
And like moonshine responses, seniors can initiate those.
Right.
We should probably start moving, though.
Yeah, we got about 12
Yeah,
minutes.
we should.
Shiver's just gonna be a minute.
You want us to wait for her, or is she to come on our own?
Yeah, let's just wait. Fuck, I made a big mistake. think I might have called my horse from too far down. Wait, but can you give me a ride to this
Yeah.
table?
Jump on.
Thank you. I don't know where my horse is.
Sounded like it may have been inside that building.
It sounded a little bit like it, yeah. The general store, which has recently been swept.
I'm sure they can sweep it again.
You know who it was swept by?
Who?
Fucking Thomas Woods and Hattie. Oh.
Community service.
Thank you.
Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. 10 minutes to get to Wallace, and I got a telegram. I wonder who my telegram must be from.
This is so awkward.
Is it?
I think I have to leave.
Okay. God damn it. I do like strawberries and badass. But she actually cut. She cut so quick. I'm probably gonna go practice shooting for a bit. If you find yourself around Valentine, there's a tree with bottles hanging from it. That's where I'll be for a while. Stay safe, and you'll definitely see me tonight. Alright. Let's go to this meeting.
All right.
Anybody want to lead us?
I don't even know where you having this. Oh, it's
Wallace.
upstairs.
Or Wallace?
I guess I'm in front, so I guess I'll just do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Up to a canner.
Yanner.
Having a strawberry banana smoothie, your absolute favorite? Yeah, I mean, I fuck with strawberry banana. I fuck with it.
I don't really want to get fucked on or fucked off for this.
And we're gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
What's the consistency on clocking on or clocking off?
Clocking off. You're not responding to things. Off the other clipboard.
Oh, Jeffers, I'm not sure if you saw, I did respond to your question on that bastard's kidnapping trainer and trying to kill him case.
Yeah. So, what exactly did she provide to get out of that charge? Because
So basically, we went down there. Hutchinson had arranged with Fiverr basically to meet with Rebecca so that he could handle some kind of deal for her.
Gotta listen to the
Basically,
conversation behind
what
us
she
here.
said
Ryder.
was her intentions there to. Oh my goodness. She doesn't want to be pursued by state marshals for outstanding crimes. So she wanted to turn herself in, serve him, and have that be that.
She was already out of state, so that's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Sharp right.
It's interesting, but
Right.
maybe she heard something when she was out of state like that. But anyway, so he had already. He basically just came to me and asked if he could go meet with her and what he could do. I said, okay, well, let's go meet with her then. He'd looked at a number of her other charges.
Straight off road.
A lot of them were pretty minor, or at least they were lesser than that specific one. What he was doing with a lot of them was pretty significant reductions, which I just said whatever,
He was
if that's
what?
what you want to do. What's that?
He was doing what?
Were pretty significant reductions. I just said,
Hello,
okay,
Sanctum.
that's what you want to do, that's fine.
I'm in.
This was
Lift.
her meeting us with
Val, thank you for the
Fire
raid, man.
Everett
Appreciate it.
and Jesse Gold. And she had
I'm not entirely sure,
some
JW. We have the
smaller
senior meeting.
properties,
This is
some
priority.
SCSD
We're gonna see how the senior meeting goes, and then we'll go from there.
I think that's
Snake.
Schofield and Lancaster, and some unmarked. I think like one unmarked Lancaster,
Rider.
and like some tomahawks or something from Tapawada, I assume. Nothing etched, so who knows? Like not aside from the SCSD stuff. So I don't know if they just dug it out of the ground or what. But anyway, that's what she turned in, and that was with no expectation
Sharp lift.
of like a deal prior. So the meeting was with the understanding that if you accept the terms, then that's fine, and we'll make this deal. Otherwise, this property is still being returned, and you'll leave without being pursued immediately. The reductions that he gave were pretty significant, so she agreed, obviously. For that specific one, all I said was,
Long Dan.
I'll look at that. I talked to her. She basically said, we didn't go there knowing exactly what they were gonna do. We're pretty sure, obviously, because of their history with Kramer, but
They did.
yeah, I
They
know.
absolutely
And
did.
then she basically said she wouldn't have cared anyway.
Right.
So I said, okay, you know what? Let's just, because there was already robbery and a kidnapping.
Back
So
up to a
anyway,
canner.
just waive the accessory instead of going through and reducing every specific charge in the way that he had been doing. Just go ahead and waive the accessory. And then he ended up reducing them further anyway, which I just didn't stop him on, considering
So-
we were meeting on good terms. And
Reducing is one thing, changing a charge is another, because that changes her entire record. And that charge should not have been changed, just to be clear.
okay,
Reducing it is one thing, removing it and waiving it is a completely different thing.
Right.
Because that was an attempted murder charge. They went there knowing exactly what they were going to do. They've
Yep.
been looking for him for weeks.
Yep.
She knew exactly
Yeah,
what was
no,
going to
I-
happen.
Yep.
She can't bat her eyes and say that she didn't know.
Yep.
that's
She's
fair.
very good at that, which is why
Yep.
I'm a little bit peeved that happened. But if she's leaving, then good riddance.
They're fucking great, JW.
Yeah, I certainly hope that's the case.
She better be, or the charges are not going to be lenient going forward.
I assume she's out
Riders.
at this point, so I guess we'll see.
Mhm.
Howdy. I don't know who that was.
Looked like, I think, deputies. I saw badges.
Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that was mainly the issue.
Left.
Was
That's
the
fair.
charge
I'll
being
definitely-
waived.
I'll definitely keep that in mind going forward as
Yeah.
a method of
It's mainly just if the charge was explicitly stated for why it was there, which it was in that case by cash.
yeah.
Then it's there for a reason, and it's not necessarily a negotiable one.
Got it.
And that's just in those cases.
Slow into a stop.
No, that's fair. Apologies for that.
piss.
Not on the wall again, Sanctum.
Will be different between.
Can we line out what do you simply expect from a
I do
leader
not
to be
think we
able to
should
do?
have an underline or a checklist of what you need to get done to become a senior. I think that's
Yeah,
setting
no,
ourselves up for failure.
Absolutely.
I think our benefit with the seniors right now and how we pick them is the versatility that we actually choose from it. Everyone has their own different skills and the way of doing things. If we start having bulletin points of like what you need to do to become a senior, then that's just gonna completely ruin that.
No, it's
Mhm.
not a good idea, personally.
Got it.
Also, I don't think this is going to be a good spot because there's going to be, I think, a lot of us here, and there's not enough room in the split corner.
It's a little far.
Yeah. The only thing to remember, I don't know if Mabel you were at the last senior meeting. Actually, yeah, I don't remember, but apparently, if I remember correctly, there were some deputies that went and chased someone that was on the other side of this wall, listening in. So we don't want to be close to a wall or be mindful of our surroundings and where we talk.
You can always go in front of this cabin, like right there, behind this tent. I think that's a wide open space.
Oh, wait, a fair
I
pitch.
mean, just right in the center, probably by the.
Yeah, right in
Yeah,
the middle,
right in the
probably. would be
center,
best.
yeah.
Gonna be fine.
That'll work.
Howdy.
Hey, McGregor. Like, even right in front, right over here, I think would be best.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about right here.
Got slowed down by some moonshiners on the way.
The moonshiners.
Yeah. We're making swamp pea, they claim.
Ew.
Turns out that's what they call moonshine.
We're gonna go here just so people are not eavesdropping on us like last time.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, bonjour, Hurst.
Yeah, Sheriff.
And just to make sure I get the point across I started. When I'm talking about expectations, it's not that I'm wanting everyone to be the same perfect. I'm just talking about that when it comes to some of the cadets, don't need them to be a fully fledged deputy yet. We just need to have them show that they have competence of becoming one, and then they learn more as they come. But with seniors, it seems that some of us want them to be perfect before they become one, and some of us just want them to have potential of getting there. So, what's then the general idea? Do we
I
want
think
people to be perfect before they get to a place, or do we want people to show promise?
I think the general idea is to have people be able to make decisions in the moment and not, stutter in that moment. I think that's really the primary thing to look for. After that, it's just a mixture of seeing what skills they have and what they can bring to the table.
So are we talking about
It's cadets, right?
or all right,
So-
cadets? Give them the most basic training we can get their asses kicked, give them the badge, and just get them to make mistakes when they've got the badge. We're too slow. We're too nervous to get cadets promoted, put forward. There's not enough seniors that are willing to put cadets forward for the badge as it is. For me, it's all about just getting them the training as quickly as possible. They don't need to be doing it 5-6 times. Just get it done, get them the badge, and then they can actually learn. Because even when cadets that have been a cadet for about 2 weeks, they've done the training the best possible way, there's still going to be this point in time where they've got no confidence in working by themselves. We need to get that length of time for the confidence to be up so they can be fully fledged deputies that can work by themselves as quickly as possible. The only way to do that is to get them the badge and get them fucking doing the
We
work.
want them to show promise. We want them to show confidence.
Okay, here, wait. I want to interrupt this real quick.
Yeah.
Has this kicked off the meeting? For one, if so, somebody needs to be taking notes throughout this. For anybody that's not here, doesn't need to be crazy notes, but just a general point, couple points for whatever the topic of the conversation is at the time.
I'm not a note taker.
Just so that it's being done. Is there anybody that will do that?
I can do that.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to be
I think
It was
starting that
a
off.
it didn't kick off the meeting. I think if we're gonna kick off the meeting, we should start at the very top here and at the beginning instead of in
I
the
think that
middle
was
of
one of the items. On
That
the
was the
I think we're still
agenda.
waiting for a few people. I think.
Okay.
Cameron, you're still on duty.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Please clock off on the clipboards. You're not responding, so don't be listing yourself as responding.
Did we?
You want us off on both, Hurst?
Not both, just the clipboard.
I know our group from Strawberry didn't, but did we tell any deputies where we were going to be?
Take that as a collective no.
Yes, probably not.
I can run back to town quick and send a tip out that we'll be up here having a meeting.
Could you grab a few bones to give those dogs to shut them up as well?
I don't know about that. I'll try. But I'll try to make this quick. I'll be back.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Thank you.
I'll go with him. It's likely we're gonna run into wolves. So.
Make it a nice quick dash.
Yeah, just a bad area for it with all the wolves out in Cumberland. So
Yeah.
Yep. You never fucking know.
Shortcut the shit out of this over the hill.
I'm with you.
All right, merge left off road. Watch the stumps.
Honestly, I don't know if that was faster. It's kind of rough terrain for the horse.
I think it felt pretty quick.
It wasn't too bad, but it's just they ran a little bit slower on that grass.
Well, I tested on the way back. You stay on the road, and I'll cut across. See who gets there first.
Yeah, I don't know if you get a real test that way. We could try it though.
Oops. I made sure to add on that not to interrupt unless absolutely necessary.
What do you want to bet there's gonna be an interruption?
I swear to God, if it's not necessary, I'm gonna yell him.
I guess we'll see. Daddy.
Hey. I will yell at them if I need
I'll
to.
be safe here. The rock really fucked me. think we were racing. Good to pick it up whenever.
Yeah, let's pick it up. You wanna test it? I'll go off road. You go straight on the road.
All right, let's go.
All right. Yeah, that shit with Lucia is wild, man. I feel like I wasn't at full sprint during the majority of that.
I took the wrong road.
He did. I also ran into wolves.
Too goddamn dark. Oh, wolves.
Oh, they followed me! You good?
Yeah.
Fuck, that would piss off the dogs! God damn it!
Did you bring
Fuck!
the bones? I didn't. Son of a bitch.
I didn't even know we were allowed in here.
Yeah, they don't mind us using it every now and then. We kind of work in tandem with them.
Okay. Criminals aren't allowed in here, though, are they?
Are
I
they
mean, I'm
being
sure
friendly?
not. It depends, you know. I'm sure
they-
they're not, but they probably get told off by the guards here.
Criminals are famous for doing as they're told, so you should just hang a big sign up saying no criminals allowed.
I've just never seen anybody come in here.
See, if you put a sign up, then they're going to come into here. Maybe that's a good
Right.
thing, because then they can't get out.
Alexi's come in here before and dropped Sadie off
Mm.
after stabbing her, so.
Well, that's dark.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
So-
just
don't
giving an
make the mood
example.
bleak, Lynn.
Just
Come on.
giving an example. It was a question
Hey,
that was asked
what a
and I
fun place
answered.
to have a meeting.
Alright,
Okay.
I believe everyone who signed up is here, so.
Yeah. Well, we'll begin. So I'll just reiterate real quick. Let's not go in circles about the things we'll be talking about. Let's come up with a consensus and move on. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever. So you guys have already touched on training cadets, deputies, etc. I would love to see some documentation written up on specific things, negotiating, breaching, pursuits, negotiating, bank robberies, etc., etc. We have one for banks already. That way we can get everybody on the same page. All the training is almost the same. Everybody trains differently. I get that. But if we have one deputy saying, okay, this is okay, and then we have another saying this is okay, or this is not okay, then we're going to have a problem. So if we can have some documentation regards to specific things that need it, that would be amazing. Anybody has any thoughts on that?
Can I touch on this? The other day I went through all of the, what's it called? The directory files. Looked at all of it, all of the training files we have, and we are indeed missing a lot of files with the basic standardized training. I have to talk with her about this, of course, but I'm hoping to rework it. I have put up a proposal which includes a lot of training files that will have to be made. What I'm thinking about this is they're going to be extremely standard basic, and of course everyone can add their own twist to it, but this would have the GR basics of what we want to get out of the training.
Okay.
I think that's absolutely necessary. We should do that, but don't we have the new training stuff coming out soon?
With certifications, we do, but we don't know how soon.
We don't know how soon and in what capacity. So, I mean, honestly, for the time being, if there's specific points that people should know, that everybody should know, I'd much rather people be hitting those than having to read through a 10-page document of how to teach it a specific way.
Okay.
So
Really
brief.
basic,
Keep it brief.
Correct. So I think I will get to that with Hurst, and we'll work through that, I think.
Okay. You guys have already touched on cadet time for trainings. Obviously, you can reiterate. Basically, the main things that need to be trained, the checkoffs, and then pushing them up. Does that sound good?
Yep,
Yeah,
sounds good to me.
I would definitely go for a checkup plus kind of ID where not just doing those little things, but a little bit extra would be very, well, nice for the deputy to be able to learn as much. You know, there's nothing about shootouts or shooting in that whole file, so for them to have some kind of training in that or in negotiating or moonshine training or those were, those should be requirements.
All right, that could be probably looked at another time with sheriffs, as I don't believe that would be our field.
Yes.
Go on.
To touch on what you were talking about earlier, what I would love to see with the cadets is like a week of ticking everything off, and then maybe like a week probation where they have to shadow another deputy, but they get their badge. It just means that people can see the clipboard, see the penal code, get used to everything, but they'd still have to be kind of under the care of somebody just for a little bit.
Not letting them be alone on duty for their first week.
Yeah,
kind of like
much.
a field training.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then if they get separated, they got to go to the telegram office, but they'd be able to stay for more things and have their badge and be able to kind of learn a little bit more than just, 1 minute you're running away to the telegram office, the next minute you got your badge and you're expected to do everything.
I think that's a good.
That is a good idea, but what I would be expecting from seniors is to be keeping an eye on freshly deputised deputies and making sure that they're sticking to you as it is at the moment. Like Hurst said earlier, there may be changes coming to how things work with cadets and whatnot, but that's what I would be expecting from everyone here, is keeping an eye on who's been newly deputised and making sure that they're told to stick with you since you're senior.
I would have some concerns about making that like a hard requirement for people before they can be like an actual deputy, right? It's just some people never get that time, or it's very hard for them to get that time based on their hours. Especially if it's you're talking about they have to be with a senior or somebody else. I think just encouraging new deputies to stick with other deputies and just make sure that they're checking in on things that they're not sure about and not feeling like they have to be alone manning a town. I feel like that's probably sufficient as long as we feel comfortable giving them the badge in the first place.
I feel like a safe bet for that would be if they can get with a senior, to prioritize that and to spend their time on duty with a senior. But if there's no seniors available and there are other deputies on duty and available, then that would suffice. But the priority would be to be with a senior.
Yeah, I think encouragement rather than hard requirements would be my recommendation.
To be clear, I'm saying that the onus of this should be on the seniors to make sure that you're keeping an eye on who's on duty and who's new and who needs that support.
So here on the new hire checklist, they have the new deputy checklist. Why don't we just keep them on sort of probation until they get that? What's the problem with that?
Well, I
What's
think
even
there's
on that?
for the new hire checklist, the pursuit and road training, it's under that instead of the cadet checklist. So the checklist, in my opinion, needs to be updated, which which might be coming up. We don't know when, but that's why we got to figure out. And right
but there
now,
is some good stuff in there. Paperwork training, the stipend for the horse, jailing and fining, which is extremely important to know, especially if you're going to be working by yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if they learn that, they're ready to go. So we could use what we have, and right now we have this paperwork. I don't know what y'all think.
Yeah, if we could just I mean, we already changed it to a senior only file once they get their badge. Just
Yeah.
instead of archiving it, just leave it open and continue for feedback. But seniors only at that point.
Just to add on to this too, I think there's a little bit of a hole the moment that they get their badge to the point where they first have the time to look at their paperwork. Most of the time that they take their paperwork might be the day after or 2 days after. There might not be someone with them to get through of it, and it's quite a mess. What I am also proposing with this directory change is that there is a file next to the cadet training. There is a new deputy training file with some basic things that they should read through before starting their paperwork day. So that any sheriff could tell them tomorrow when you are looking at the paperwork, they're gonna go to the new deputy file and they're gonna read through these basic things, which has some information about jailing, what to do with the weapons if you catch them. It's like a cheat file for if they forget something in the future.
I believe that file already exists in the general clipboard walkthrough.
It does, yes.
Correct.
I'll just say that like there is, I've noticed some deputies getting deputized, and then you ask them like a week later, and they'll say they haven't been shown paperwork yet. Like by the time I meet a deputy and they already have their badge on and I didn't see them getting deputized, I would have assumed that they've already been walked through paperwork. So I feel like when I first got deputized, there was more of a push for right away. Like I think it was even like sheriffs just delegating somebody to show them as they were being deputized.
Well, so
I
with
don't know if
that,
we've moved away from that.
It's not an issue of moving away from that. It's that we get notice of the vote passing, but the marshals have had a courier that doesn't send the spare pair of keys for the office in time, and the clerks have been getting a little bit overwhelmed with all the files that they've been keeping up with for open investigations, so they're not setting up the new clipboards in a timely manner, and that's mainly where that is coming down to, and it's been the biggest problem for the time being. But
I expect that to change soon.
Hopefully they'll get their act together. I know that they've been working on getting things a little bit more streamlined in that approach, but that just sometimes they get overwhelmed and we can't do anything but wait, for the courier to come and for them to set up the clipboards.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I forgot about that. I do remember there being more customary naps, and I haven't seen those as much lately.
So just take the initiative when you see new deputies around to check in with them about the paperwork if they've had someone take them through it as much as you can.
Right. So this brings it back to what Wiley was saying when leaving the file unarchived for the time being of the person who was newly hired as a deputy, so that we can know. Maybe in the directory, Monet, you can have a file there saying new hires or whatever, so that we can know, right? And then stating inside of, when they're deputized, stating inside that file that they now have their paperwork and keys, per se.
I don't even think we need to state anything. We can just remove them from that list.
Well,
it's something that we need to make sure we stay on top of, sir.
No. Just because you mentioned the list, if there's going to be list files like that, there needs to be at least 3 people maintaining it, minimum. And I want names on it, because they're not getting maintained, just to be clear.
Okay. That's a good change then. Having somebody, take our lists, and that's good.
I think so, yeah.
Don't want to do that?
Alright,
Okay.
well, now's the right time to sign that, don't you think?
Yes.
If they've decided on doing that.
Are there any volunteers for that?
Whose idea were it?
I believe it was Wiley's. Wiley, if you're not speaking up on taking the list, that's fine.
You're gonna have to clarify it. So, in the new directory that Monet is doing, I'm making a list there.
In regards to when a cadet is deputized and they have their, their access, they need the paperwork training and the deputy training now. The list would be prioritizing those people so that other seniors can know, or deputies, more than likely seniors, to train these people in said fields that they need, so that we're not missing them. You know what I mean? Or assuming that they've already received training when they haven't.
I'd be happy to help with that.
Okay, yeah.
No, but just to be clear, if a senior gives them the paperwork training, then they write the name down, of it having been done, or...
They've removed the name from the list.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like if we are in a position where we are asking that question anyway, we are in a position to just ask them personally.
Yeah.
The paperwork just becomes pointless. Would
So
be
then
my opinion on it.
Really, we are getting to a point where at least where a sheriff has to write down the name once they get the badge. But if the sheriff forgets it, then they still get forgotten in the paperwork.
Okay, so here's my recommendation, right? The processing report at the top of the senior clipboard already has requested Sisika visits, concerns, and things like that. Just keep a running list of people that just got promoted so that they can be watched. All you'd need to do is just watch the paperwork file for the processing channels that we have with the marshals in terms of who is up for a badge, and just keep the names moving onto there.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
The easiest way to do that. So if there's just like 2 or 3 people
Yeah,
that could
I can do
manage
that,
that, that could easily be handled. And then everybody can take a look at the names, and once they feel that that person is sufficiently fine, they can just remove the name off of there and archive the file.
Yep, I can do that.
Yes, likewise.
Alright, so Maple Wiley.
Yeah.
It can be part of this too. What if the 3 of us, including of adding the name to the list, would be so smart to send this new deputy a telegram and tell them to find a senior to get the paperwork training done, so that they are also aware themselves that they have to show initiative.
I think you can just tell them when they get promoted to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time someone's promoted.
I've been
Usually
telling
when-
them to find somebody immediately,
Aye.
just given the
Ye-
situations that we have.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it's always been. Is they would get they'd get promoted, and then a deputy either would volunteer or you'd be delegated to just showing them the ropes around the office, including paperwork.
Right.
Okay, everybody satisfied with this discussion?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
Okay.
can we? I'm sorry. Can we do just a brief summary of what we just decided?
Bolton, do you have it written down?
Yes. So it looks like we're. Oh, what a weird bird. I'm sorry, I'm a little.
That's okay.
So we're making a list in the directory of the people who recently got promoted, and we're aiming to checklist them off of the rest of what there is on that checklist. Is that my understanding, including the paperwork?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I've got that written down. And then it'll be Maple, Wiley, and Manette who have volunteered to keep an eye on that list.
Maple, Wiley, Monet.
That's what I said, Maple, Wiley, Manette.
Okay, I missed the last name.
Okay.
So you three will be responsible for that.
Okay, so let's say that I train someone on paperwork. Do you want me to check it off on the new hire?
Yes.
We've decided we're going to keep that, right, as under a senior deputy. We're going to
Yes,
check
this
that off on the
is-
new hire. And then it will be then one of these three's responsibilities to then check it off the list, or am I to check it off the list as well?
If you feel that the person is done and that their new hire list is fine, then you can remove them from the list. The list is only there so that we know who the new hires are that have been promoted to deputies and who needs to maybe be watched by the seniors for a little
Gotcha.
bit of time.
Okay.
Anybody can remove them, but adding them is going to be on those 3 to hopefully do if it gets missed by somebody else.
Gotcha. Understood.
Yeah, and just before we move on to clarify, we're keeping these unarchived for the time being until that they get their names off that list, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
If they're being removed, they are being archived.
yeah, I think this will also help with not getting backed up on getting stipends out as well. I've noticed that some people, it's been months.
Exactly.
Yeah, I try and give them out immediately, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Also, just on the note of stipends, really quickly, if you are, for whatever reason, giving out a stipend, definitely note it down in the proper channels. But if you see me or another sheriff around, you can also just ask us to pay you back, because it's a little bit easier for the marshal to hand us the money than it is for y'all. So just let us know, and we'll pay you back and shift that due notice to us.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna ask again, are we satisfied with that discussion?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Okay. Let's move on to the next. Go
Could
on.
I just put one comment? One thing that I tend to do that I think other seniors and anybody else should do is if there is a new hire, just check in on them every few days, make sure they're comfortable with where they are, and that way you also can make note of who hasn't able to get training as well through that.
Yeah, just keep checking in with people. Really, it doesn't even have to be in their first week. Just
Yeah,
their
just-
first
Yeah,
month.
in general,
keep
just
asking them.
even with our well-seasoned deputies, checking on them because they may be silent about certain situations.
Yep.
Okay, move on.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to senior promotions now. I've noticed a lot of people being open to discussion that may not be ready for this endeavor. Now, I get it that you guys want to push them forward, get a discussion going. I completely understand that. But we want to ensure that we're not making more paperwork for us to read and to respond to that isn't necessarily needed. So maybe have a discussion with them, see where they think that they're wrong, see where you think that they're doing things that they can improve on, and then go from there. If you feel like they actually are ready, in your perspective, then put up a discussion, and then we can discuss about it. Because there are a couple people in there that a lot of people are saying no about.
So as a note for some of those, because some of those came from myself and Holt and Sand in particular, it was noted that we wanted an early discussion for people to watch out for them, and I think absolutely nobody actually looked at that note. So if that is written on there, please take note of it and actually wait to put feedback on there and ride with them for 2 weeks and then put your feedback.
Yeah, people just read that and just took it how they would normally take that kind of feedback without actually reading what was asked of them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that was why on a couple of those, like the one where he's maybe 2 or 3 weeks into his hiring, it was
Anderson.
specifically just, he's an early one to keep an eye on. Please tell us in the next couple of weeks what you think.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I do believe Tarn removed the 4 of them, and the only one that's currently still left up for debate is Painter.
Wait, they got... Okay, I'll look at them later.
Okay.
Yeah, they were all
moving
just
on.
clear.
It
was Cleos, Cooper, Hutchinson, and Anderson.
Put a different title to that report, so when a senior sees it, they're immediately.
I'm pretty sure I put it in the summary.
I think it's a fine format. People just need to.
To be honest, I just would trust in your reading comprehension to read what the sheriff or undersheriff or chief deputy has written, and then take that information in and then act on it accordingly.
I'm just trying to make it easier for people that are not as good at reading as others.
I have one eye to be nice here. Okay.
Well,
We make it
use
real
the
easy
other
and
eye
just
next time.
vote by committee to demote the next person who just doesn't read it.
I'll make it much clearer in the summary section, in much bolder letters, I suppose.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to help.
No, I
you.
know. No. I know. I'll double check those files. I was pretty sure that I wrote it on them, but maybe there was confusion.
Maybe just instead of discussion, put early discussion in the title.
We could do early discussion. Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, I do remember a while ago they specifically stated just because they're for discussion doesn't mean they have to be put up to vote as well.
Oh no,
Could be just-
vote is
Yeah.
separate.
Exactly. That's what I'm mentioning. Is I believe it's okay to bring people
He'll-
up for discussion early on and keep an eye on them.
I do think this is one of the pitfalls of the newer way that we do discuss promotions rather than just doing the monthly roundup of people that could be.
Fuck the
worth
monthly
talking
roundup,
about.
man. That shit was the worst.
I think
Actually, the
a lot of people
worst.
do think that when one of these files come up, that it would inevitably lead to a vote. So we just need to be aware that that's not always the case.
Okay. We all good?
Yep.
Okay. We do have a lot of investigations. It is very good to take a ponder on investigations that are currently ongoing. See if the formatting is correct, seeing if everything is, the way it should be, if it is not a senior leading this. And also expressing to deputies that they can go into investigations as well. It is important, and I think it needs to be reminded to deputies and other seniors as well. And we should make sure that this is done correctly, and if they need advice or anything like that. Okay. Moving on, wanted list. We have a lot of people still wanted for thousands of days. It is good to do patrols if we have the resources. That is up north, paths that we don't normally go in, and not just town to town. So if we have the resources, please urge deputies and yourselves to go on patrol to areas we don't frequent. It shows our numbers, and it shows, we are indeed looking for these people.
To add on to that, and this is something I've been pushing for deputies for a very, very long time now, and I'm urging seniors to do the same. Don't just go to marked locations on your map. Just wander off to the camps that aren't normally on, that you can actually see from the road or anything. Off-road a little bit. And make sure you urge deputies to do that. Do it yourself. Because criminals, they're not going to be hiding out in the open. They're going to be hiding out in the forest. So just
Unless
be
they're
a bit more
fucking
wary
Jack
of where you
Kettleman.
patrol and try to go places that people would not normally go.
I agree with all that, so long as you're not out there in the middle of the nowhere for too long. The tip line is your best friend when you're looking for people.
Oh, definitely.
Agreed.
Sure. Patrols, you should be going into places that, to actually look for people. Don't take too long, because if you linger around, then it's just going to be backlogging everything.
Also, a suggestion if you're trying to go off the beaten path and maybe find some of those camps, talk to the rangers. Maybe even have them guide you to some of them in certain areas. They're going to know them better than most.
Agreed. I was actually going to bring that up. We good on that front?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go a little
Actually-
bit down the... Go ahead.
We don't always need a full 6 to go on a patrol.
Agreed.
Definitely. Take 1 or 2, even 3 solo patrols are also great. You don't need full 6.
Yeah, that's it.
Bolton, are you
Okay.
caught up with this one?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just checking in.
Okay, I'm going to go down the list a little bit because this kind of pertains to this. And this is for deputies and seniors. I know you guys all do your jobs well. But it's come to my attention that some reports are not concise enough to actually convict somebody of a crime. Maybe they did do the crime, but the report is not reflecting that. So if, let's say, Monet writes a report and it does not tell me that why this person did the crime or how they did the crime, and I'm trying to arrest this person, I'm not confident in arresting them. So make sure that you're reading all wanted files. That is our job as seniors, is to make sure paperwork is in line. So give read it a little bit and then talk to the deputy who wrote it and make sure that they're actually, saying in the report how they committed the crime, what they did, so that we can actually arrest them in an easy manner later on.
I agree with that. And additional to that, as well as indicate how you identified the person, because there's a lot of, identification on people, but it's not actually explained in the reports, or their name is nowhere in the report other than under the wanted and the charges.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like, since this is a venue for discussing potential changes, like I often do identification and like charge summary sections on paperwork. Not all the time, but when I feel like it's needed, just to sort of help somebody very quickly identify what they need to charge somebody with that crime, or sorry, to process somebody for that crime.
Right.
I feel like that might be something that we could encourage more of. I know I've seen other people do similar things.
100%.
Pressing people to only put wanted questioning when they have added a line of questioning for that person in that report.
That's
If
been a thing for so long.
If somebody is putting down wanted for questioning, there should already be a line of questioning by the person who's making them wanted for questioning.
Yeah. So if you look at the wanted list or you see files that are marked wanted for questioning, just browse through them real quick. If you don't see questions on there, just FAO the person that wrote the file and kind of prompt them on it. I think there's a lot of people that forget that they need to be doing that, so it'd be really good if seniors can remind them.
I think we have just issues in general. Like, I would say, me personally, even now, I'm unsure about the questions that I should write on paperwork, but like, especially when I started, I don't think we go through sufficient training for investigations and like, writing questions for things that are actually going to...
I think truthfully it comes down to, if you're putting wanted for questioning, what questions would you be asking them if they were in front of you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
that's the issue. Like I think we don't do enough training on that for people. I mean, it just depends, right? Like some people take to it right away.
No, that's fair. That's
Well-
fair feedback.
With that, I mean, maybe if we don't have questions that we can press on that person to try and determine whether or not they have committed that crime, then maybe we don't put a wanted for questioning out on it, and we can't prove that they did commit that crime.
Right. Well, we're not always here to slap charges on somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, if we don't have what we need to push it, then we don't. There's nothing we can do about
Exactly.
Food for thought. Is there someone that feels confident enough in terms of questioning people?
Fucking
Maybe
hate
could
questioning
come up
people.
with some generic situations like a bank robbery, and maybe questions that could be recommended for asking in situations. Generic kind of
I
overview.
fucking
This is
hate
a bank
questioning
robbery
people.
person.
Hate
What
it.
questions would you ask a bank robber?
Absolutely hate it.
Suspected. Things like that.
Not my
Somebody
style.
want to maybe look into that as a personal project if it's feasible or not?
Excuse me. Sure, yeah, I can.
I mean, maybe it's something useful. Maybe it turns into something that's not as useful. I mean, that'll be up for you to determine.
If you want to help me with it, that's fine with me.
I also don't mind helping with that.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I personally don't find the questions that people write for wanted for questioning particularly relevant or useful, and I would rather have everybody skilled in questioning, read a statement, look at what they need to question, and then depending on who it is in the cells, ask it that way, ask it their own way. Because to me, the wanted for questioning sometimes is just a bit of somebody knows they got to write something, and the question's like, did you do it? Were you there? Who are your friends? And it's so, I don't know, bit of paperwork. Maybe that
It's
Better
doesn't.
than jokes.
It's
right?
very
Yeah.
It's a very situational thing, to be honest, because sometimes
It is.
sometimes there's enough details on the report to be able to sufficiently question someone just based off of reading the report, even if there is no question that's asked. And then sometimes you have the questions in front of you, and then it's just either bad questionings and you don't get what you need, or maybe it is good questionings and you do get what you need. It's very situational.
So
Yeah,
maybe...
Sorry, Nico.
I was just going to say, maybe, Zoe, because you mentioned this in particular, and maybe between the three of you, maybe pulling a couple of, like, statements from files as examples and seeing maybe if there's some sort of kind of training that we could write out in terms of, here's a statement, what questions would you ask, and then maybe include some questions.
Yeah, I'm
you
going
know,
to get
for
water.
the person that would be reading it out to a cadet, let's say, in terms of some suggested questions in return for it and things like that.
Yeah, I'd be really happy to help with that. I think people having a general understanding of what questions to ask is better than having one deputy have to write out specific questions. Because we should all know what we're doing when we're questioning somebody.
I do want to note, since I read through all of the down directory stuff, there is two files, one about investigations and one about questioning, that are quite long and detailed, that you might be able to use. So
Yeah, if there's really specific things, I agree.
Yeah, we need to.
But just
need to fix that directory.
Something
Yeah.
that I do when I do my wanted for questioning is when I ask a question, I always say what they expect, what I'm looking for, the rationale behind this question. So I ask a question, I say, okay, if they answer this way, I want you to consider thinking about this as the next question, or I'm trying to get them to tell us they were in New Austin that day rather than us feeding that they were in New Austin. So I think people should get in the habit of also writing why they're asking a question, but I'm aware that my style of questioning is pretty different from a lot of people. So it's up for your own style.
But I think that's great. I think notes on what you're looking for is more helpful than written out direct questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can certainly figure out the best way to address that. If the three of you want to work something out, and then maybe we can propose it at the next meeting as sorts of this. Maybe try and schedule something like this for next month or so.
I would like them to be monthly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to help out with that as well.
Okay, moving on then. I believe there's only one proposal at the current moment, and that's Monet's. Is that correct, or am I missing some?
proposal for
Seniors making proposals, deputy making proposals, etc.,
Oh,
that are
right.
open for discussion.
So I know, in terms of training proposals, I know two deputies who are currently working towards writing training stuff of their own.
Okay.
One being John Bishop, he's writing a custom investigation training off of a real case that myself and he worked on. He has written that up and is in the archive files. I know he has been asking some people to write feedback on it. I think he's waiting for seniors' approvals and all that on that. Another thing was from Sadie Cooper, who told me about it today. She was wanting to propose an idea of more Saint Denis training in regards of having deputies familiarize themselves with the city and its alleyways.
That's more specific to Lemoyne in a lot of cases, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Hey, just put another note on this. I know I am now starting to like a broken clock telling the same time every time, but for the directory thing, I was thinking of breaking all of the training, because there's a lot of files, into 3 different areas. There's one for the cadet ones, which is all the standardized trainings. There's one for the new deputies, which is paperwork and other things that might come up later. And there's one for advanced deputies, which has more difficult
That's
things.
Zoe's butt.
And I was thinking the first one would be more detective related.
Still have
Since
nothing
the
to add to this
investigation one and
conversation.
questions one are so good, I don't want to throw it away. It's better to put it under a little detective training title. So those trainings being made by them, I would either put them under advanced or the detective area for it to be more organized.
What about trainings that can benefit both cadets and deputies? Because I have a couple of those.
So, when it comes to training, I think it might be better to narrow it down even a little bit further. I think there's definitely cadet training, official cadet training. I'm gonna state that word because there's so many people writing different trainings of their own. I do think that it needs to be vetted what is officially the capacity and what is this is my personal recommendation capacity. There's a very defined line between that. And we don't need 15 trainings for the same thing in official capacity, so I think there is like a different category for people that take on personal projects like this that maybe remain personal projects, and that's completely fine, and I'd love to read through them, but they don't need to be seen as I have to teach this one because this is in like a deputy section or this is in a cadet section and things like that when there's 5 things for the same purpose or outcome.
A good example is, for example, Sanctum's file about moonshining. It's quite long and it goes into big details, which would be perfect for the advanced area for if people want to get even more knowledge about moonshining or even more knowledge about different areas. And the new deputy cadet stuff would be only the bare minimum that they are supposed to know. That's what I would propose.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's a good idea. I just, again, like, how much time do you think you'd invest in something like that? Sounds like a big project.
What, into organizing things?
Yeah.
But that's I have no problem putting time into it.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to organize it anyway. It's something that was already on the table, I think. I talked to Manette and Maple about it, so they're helping with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I guess it's frustrating because we don't know how exactly everything's gonna look, right, when all the certificates and stuff come out.
Correct. Which is why a lot of this might turn into personal projects.
Correct. But seeing as we need to keep the cart rolling and not standing still, I think for the time being it's smart to have something until further progress is made on the certifications.
Yep. We're still a little in the unknown about it, so we know they're there, but we do not know when they will come in a official book.
Should we get to the next point?
Yeah.
Next point.
The next one is the operations. So we have Operation Autumn. We have Operation Phalanx. I'm pretty sure there's a couple others that are inactive. I would like to make them active again. Obviously, the folks that have started those are not. Some of them are here, some aren't. They are pretty important. It gets deputies on their feet instead of in the porches. And if if we have the time and the resources, we should be doing those things. I know Beckwith did a phalanx one the other day. He was at a checkpoint. I would like to see him more often because you never know when criminals are going to be moving supplies.
Me personally, I think a lot of people forget about those kind of operations because they just kind of get buried on top of every other file we have. So maybe we can raise awareness on those operations, encourage people doing that more. If we can just maybe somehow put that into our directory or something that's in like an active operations or something like that. Make it where it's visible to everyone. It's not, sent to the bottom of our paper files.
All right.
I have a small comment on that. I have to say the only one I was on there was feel like maybe we might have been a little too aggressive with just random passerbyers. Listen, I'm all for stopping and searching known criminals, but just random civilians, like looking through their saddlebags and stuff. I think that gives a bad perception of the department, personally.
I don't think that should be being done.
I think there has been more guidance since maybe the last time you've done that, McGregor, about when and how we should be searching saddlebags, and it is more if we have more of a legitimate reason to do it, like you say, as someone that's known to rob deputies or a known criminal. But yeah, very much against random saddlebag searches just for
shouldn't be happening.
Yep.
Yeah, the entire point of the checkpoints is communicating with people going by, seeing if they're seeing any trouble, and potentially catching people going from point A to point B who are wanted that avoid the checkpoint, and we pursue them and arrest them. Yeah. That's really the cut and dry of it. It's not about stopping people, searching what they have on them, anything like that. It's questioning, and if they incriminate themselves, it's one thing.
Right. Okay, so we're not even searching known criminals who aren't wanted.
I don't think that should be a thing. Personally, I don't know if that's
unless they
disagreed,
give you
but
a reason to give you it. No.
I mean, in general, if they're not wanted, there's not much of a reason to be searching them.
Yeah.
And frisking them up.
Exactly.
All right then.
Okay.
That's just not a thing.
How the fuck do we get deputies to read the bulletin board and actually comprehend what it says? Because I've seen time and time again the same bulletin be made over and over and over again. Obviously, you can verbally tell them, but that goes to the situation we were talking about in Strawberry. How many times are we going to tell a deputy the same thing in the same day? You know what I mean? So this goes to what we said about the trainings. Maybe people sign their name off when they read something, but then that comes to more announcements that obviously we don't want. You know what I mean? But I don't want to see one deputy sitting in Armadillo after being told that you should not be in Armadillo because obvious fucking reasons, or one person being in Annisburg because obviously you shouldn't be in Annisburg alone, right? How do we get the message across?
I think if a senior is giving, or senior or sheriff is giving a direct order not to go somewhere alone, and the people are going somewhere alone, that I would view that as disobeying an order, and I feel like that needs to be traveled up the chain of command.
Yes, but let Monet speak.
Alright, as you may know, I hate the bulletin board, and I have had a war against the bulletin board. It comes all down to this. It's been used to a lot of complaining, and I've asked newer deputies. They have asked more than 20 on multiple days. I asked them, do you read the bulletin board? The only response I got, no, it's only people complaining about other deputies and things that they have not done wrong myself. So people have stopped reading the damn thing. So, also, it comes back to the paperwork training, where they have to wait 1 or 2 days. They finally get to see their little bulletin board, and they forget to read the important things we might have written down because they have no clue that they are supposed to go through it. As a solution to that, I took the time one day, a couple of hours, to write down a new deputy training, which included the things that they should do before getting on duty, which are like 5 steps, and 5 very simple steps, and I think those should fix that problem because they should be reading the bulletin board before doing anything. They should be reading the tip line before getting to work, and they should check if they have enough food and water. It's the simple things. Yeah. It.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Sorry.
people are
Go ahead.
complaining, please reprimand them. If they don't listen, you tell me their name. Easy as that.
And when it comes to you yourself finding out that there is a Deputy X that never does his paperwork, and then you think the solution is to write it down as a bulletin so that everyone can see that you're annoyed with Deputy X, maybe instead of doing that, let's us talk to Deputy X and tell him that Deputy X should be doing their own paperwork instead of letting other people do it. It's completely useless to complain about one deputy in the bulletin board while there is 100 other deputies having to read it. It starts your day off quite negative, and I rather want to have people focus on what's happening outside of the office and not inside.
Yeah, I think there's definitely needs to be some sort of routine among a lot of the newer deputies that haven't picked up on it yet. That's, bulletin board, FAOs, and check tip line. It's straight and simple. And we shouldn't be having so many open FAOs if people were checking them regularly. We have that file of FAOs that's sitting up. I think a lot of those people haven't really been around anymore, or haven't been around recently to clear those FAOs, which is fine, but still something that we need to make sure that they're staying on top of. Getting a routine down. I know it's something that I used to tell people all the time when we hired them was bulletin board, FAOs, or FAOs, bulletin board, whichever fucking order you want, and tip line. Tip line should probably be the last thing you check, because if you check the tip line first, you're gonna get excited, you're gonna go try and chase something, and you have open shit that needs to get taken care of.
That all falls under paperwork training, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yes, is the failure done.
And then
Can I also just add something in terms of paperwork training very quickly? Can I just make a reminder that for the medical files,
Thanks, Oak.
that if you're going to be looking at them, you should be speaking to someone in the medical department to see if it's something valuable that you're supposed to be actually looking at, not just rifling through the medical department's private files. Thank you.
And all deputies should be aware that they have to request files. I don't think a lot of them are being taught that. They think they have access to it, and they do not. Same goes for tip lines. Do not be reading other tip lines unless you need to be doing so per their request or them handing you the tip.
Are you saying that as a senior deputy, if I am interested in knowing how subject A came to be unconscious in the Valentine saloon, I cannot look up his medical file?
If it's associated with a report, like it was noted that they were in there for that, it is likely that the medical team would have given you the file associated with it. Not an issue. But I know at one point there were people that were rifling through Sisica files, and I told them to knock it the fuck off, as an example.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't be going through their other departments' files just for fun.
Yeah, so if it's associated, that's fine. But sometimes we do need to request other files if we need it.
Okay, and is it okay? Is it all right for deputies to be doing the same thing as long as it's associated?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say though, if you know that someone is from the department is around, maybe try and link up with them and speak to them and get them to give you the file.
Yeah, never hurts to ask. They might have more context too.
Yeah, exactly.
And it
So we
builds up
should
a little
not be
rapport
checking
as well.
tip lines regardless. Sorry.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
we get all their
checking-
tips anyways, don't we?
Well, so, like the medical tip line, people shouldn't be opening any of their telegrams, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, checking to see if anybody responded, sure, that's fine. But we don't need to be reading their tip line.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, I use it for, like, finding out where clinics are and things like that, typically.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Just don't open them. I know they've yelled at us for opening their tips before.
Yeah. Well, I'm familiar with hearing about that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just remember that we already have too much paperwork in our offices. We wouldn't be able to store medic or Cisco or Ranger paperwork as well. So we got to get to their offices to see.
Yep.
Just to go back to what one of the other things you addressed was, Sanctum, about people not seeing the bulletins and then going out to Armadillo or wherever alone. I'm pretty sure the majority of those people are reading the bulletins, and then because they don't feel like it's departmental guidance, they feel like it's just somebody having a personal opinion, deciding to do otherwise. So, like, I don't know. I would say that things like the critical notice for the Van Horn directive, those are clear departmental guidance. You know, deputy whoever saying, don't go out to Armadillo, it's dangerous right now. People are taking their lives in their hands if they want to. I feel like that's a little bit different than departmental guidance.
I mean, it should be noted that if a critical notice is going up, that a sheriff approved it. That should just be kind of a passive, I understand this critical notice is coming from a sheriff. Just in general.
Yeah, and like I said, critical notices I feel like are different, but things that people just put on the bulletin board, watch out for this person or whatever, I don't feel like we should be expecting deputies to.
No, and truthfully, the stuff that's on there right now, I'm just gonna plainly say it. The stuff that Deputy Mercer's putting up, is not something that needs to be an announcement. I don't know why all of that is on there as much as it is. And we need to be talking to people like that and asking why is this being put up to such a degree when it's just another file in our record.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big difference between a warning and an order not to go somewhere as well.
And so while we are all here, is there such an order not to go out to Armadillo in, like, alone or in small groups?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think alone, that should just be general common sense. Same thing goes with Armadillo. If you're going there alone, you're kind of like asking to be kidnapped.
I'm going to speak
from senior deputies currently doing that, so and I
Really-
don't have a problem with it.
I don't think Zoe's.
Really
I don't
quick,
think Zoe's the
I'm gonna
best
speak
person to
personal
argue for
experience
not
'cause I
getting
have recently
kidnapped.
faced the brunt of the West. I got kidnapped. I got a machete stuck in my neck because of it. They don't want us out there. They want blood. If you go out there, you're risking your own life. That's what I'm saying.
I
Don't go
live
there
out
alone.
there, and I go there every single day alone, and I've had no trouble.
Okay, I'm just gonna be clear.
Are you sure?
Going
Zoe?
out alone
Yes.
is not just a risk for you. It is resources potentially being put on the line for the department. And be very mindful of that. I've had people that get kidnapped where suddenly there's 6 people that we have to go send out after them in an area that they shouldn't have even been in. Bill's a pretty prime fucking example of that, just to be completely blunt. Now, right now, I do not believe there is a standing order. That could change. I do think going out west alone, regardless of the fact, is incredibly stupid. Just my personal opinion.
Zoe.
But again, there is no standing order that no one is barred from doing so. But I do hope that people are using their judgment and leading by example, especially standing here.
Zoe?
Yeah, I think it's about depend on who it is and your relationship with people and what you're doing down there. There's still work that can be done there and good things that can happen. It's not like they're gonna kidnap and kill us every time we go there.
I don't know. I've done a lot for the West. I've done a lot of good for the West. You can ask Tosh. We've worked together on Western projects a lot, and yet I still got kidnapped by the Rude Boys and had a machete stuck in my neck because of it.
Yeah, that can happen anywhere though.
It can. I mean, it happened in Blackwater. I got kidnapped at Tall Trees, but that's besides the point. The point being, I'm not gonna talk in circles, but the point being, they're just if they want blood, they're gonna get blood. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Things could change, but right now there's no standing order. That's where it sits.
To get back to the point of it being the bulletin board, what we're talking about. I would say if there's a critical order not to go alone into Armadillo, and you notice the deputies keep going by themselves in Armadillo without senior approval or being themselves a senior or up, I would say it would be a reason enough to put them on a little break from the work so they can come back and maybe be a better deputy.
If it is going against orders, then tell a sheriff.
Yep.
Right now, it is not against orders.
Yeah. Exactly.
Only thing I have noticed is that when there's not many deputies on and
I don't
people
know,
still
yo.
want to stay out west, that's when I've been sending people back in. Just numbers and responding to things. But lots of people have been going out there quite successfully.
I mean, it might help that the key culprits of a lot of the trouble caused out west have been locked up for the last week. You know, like the McKinleys, Josie, Cass, all those lot. We caught them the other night, and you know they've been locked up for a good bit. They're gonna be getting out, I think, soon, next few days. So that very well might change very quickly all of a sudden.
Personally, I think we should be riding through Armadillo with quite a few deputies every chance we get. And in my opinion, I don't really care. I think everyone in the department should be free to do whatever they please when they're not on duty. But
I think we're talking about people being.
I mean,
on
it's
duty
one thing.
and
It's one thing
every
being
time
off duty, and a completely separate thing being on duty and doing that. I don't think we should really be holding weight over any deputies when they're off duty. It's their own time. It's personal time. They make a mistake or make a decision that leads them into danger. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. We're not here to control people's off-duty lives. That's not what we do.
Okay, and to just wrap up that point that I was saying, I think with how full Armadillo is all the time and how many criminals are there and how often there are wanted people there, do think it would be wise, you know, to not, as leaders of the department, to not be going down there with less than 3 or 4. I don't know if we want to make that a visual rule or just have it be known between us that, like, maybe it's not a good idea.
I would personally think it'd be better to bring numbers down there and be safe than have no numbers down there and then be sorry.
Well, so part of the hostility is because the West feels like every time we go there, it's people that never come to the West, and all they do is bring a hunting party, arrest whoever they can, and then leave. So they've been quite accommodating of people coming down there by themselves or a couple of deputies, and they kind of respect that. And it makes everything a lot easier.
I mean, here's the truth of the matter. They don't get to determine who is acceptable out there and who isn't. If we have to send deputies out there, we have to send deputies out there. They don't get to determine who it is.
Yeah,
Just
agreed. But a little bit of diplomacy can sometimes smooth a lot over.
Sure. I mean, they were very diplomatic shooting people down in the middle of the street for talking to them. So, it's just mixed results at the moment.
Yeah, I think we're probably pulling examples from very different groups that all happen to be out there at the same time, and we can't really just.
This is a longer issue than really can be hashed out here, and there's not necessarily an end answer because, again, there's no notice that people are barred from it. There's advisements, obviously, that people should use common sense, not go out there alone. That deputies should be going in patrols out there in numbers, not as just 1 or 2 people. You know, and those are all things that are already known, and there's personal opinions can get thrown around all night long, but there's no necessary need for it.
All right, I say we move on.
Yes, let's move on, please.
Agreed.
Let's talk about scheduling events, okay? So we do have a medical department that works tirelessly for us and with us, a Ranger Corps that saves lives as well. They're very useful, and the Transit Authority as well. I would love to continue to see, like yesterday, with Maple and Lynn, a few others. It was a good time. Everybody had fun, and it continues the bond. I would love to see some with the Rangers Corps, the Transit Authority, and I would like to see us engaging more with them. They appreciate it. They appreciate us, but like, how many times have I had a conversation with a medic? Very few. Same thing with a ranger. Same thing with somebody who works on the railroad. I would like to see it more so that we can continue to, you know, build friendship among the departments because we always work together. Okay. Anybody have any ideas you know?
Well, to add on to that, we can utilize, I mean, medics stay where they are, but we should advocate for utilizing these resources. You know, rangers are eyes for us a lot of the times. And I know I've personally sent some rangers out to help out, maybe looking for a missing person that might have been taken, or at least keep your eyes open in certain areas that we know they might be in. And I think that builds relationship between what they're there for.
I agree. Myself and Senior Deputy Frankie used to talk about involving the Rangers more. And she knew a lot about the Rangers, and the things I heard from her, I mean, they know the crossing better than we do. It's just true. I mean, generally speaking. I'm sure there's exceptions to that rule, but and they are a resource for the state, so we should be utilizing that more. I can agree more with you there, Under Sheriff.
The same thing goes for the newspaper as well. They write articles. You know, the news gets out there. Keeping them involved is always good as well. At the moment, we do have Abigail being potentially targeted by a criminal. We don't know his motive. There's an investigation on it, but it's good to keep them involved as well. Have conversations. You know, maybe write up an article with them, or you know, give them an article. That sort of thing.
Yeah, I know more recently I saw in the newspaper that there was a wanted thing in there for, I forget which criminal, but there was someone that was really wanted that was displayed in there. Maybe people would start contacting the newspaper and kind of get that kind of written up so people are aware of these wanted folk. Maybe that way that can lead to more civilian tips coming in.
I feel like that might have a negative result in people seeing a wanted list in the newspaper and be like, ooh, I want to be on that list.
Maybe.
Or I want to go capture him and bring him into the office, you know?
Yeah, that's
it could be
not
mixed
something-
results, but
we can't really do that at the time right now. It's a little too volatile and ego stroking and vigilante encouraging and all sorts.
yeah, I understand.
With speaking of the newspaper, in terms of providing stories to the newspaper, when it comes to situations that have happened, big gangs being arrested, that should be remaining to a senior plus state, right?
Or above. I think that's
Senior plus,
very discretionary. Depends on what story you're showing, because they could be targeted very well by those people for putting that article in the paper.
Right, and a senior's going to know what information can and cannot be included, just also why it should not be a deputy. I don't want them slipping up and including a name.
Mm-hmm. And just to remind you all, we only give stories that are closed. The investigation has to be closed for that.
Mm-hmm. Moving on, negotiating in pursuits. I know all of you are aware of this. That's just a reminder to deputies as well, that if you are leading a pursuit or you're leading a patrol, you are fucking leading that patrol or that pursuit. If you have a suggestion, by all means. If the deputy has a suggestion, by all means. But if they're overstepping, you need to have a conversation with them. You don't need that happening. Same thing happens with negotiating. If you are negotiating and somebody talks up, that can ruin the negotiating and make your colleague feel pretty fucking shitty. Okay, so we have to respect leadership, as always. We all know this. And negotiating is definitely powerful. You have to be careful what you say and how you position your people. Are you threatening this person, etc., etc.?
Fucker.
I just want to clarify. You mean that, like, you mean the person in charge of the patrol, not necessarily the person that is leading the patrol, like in the front of the patrol?
I mean, so this is what I mean, right? So if I say, McGregor, you lead this pursuit or you lead this patrol, just because I'm a senior doesn't mean I'm gonna go at it and you know, fucking take over your stuff. You're the leader.
Right,
I'm gonna sit back and I'm going to, you know, allow you to do your thing.
Absolutely.
That's what I mean.
So are we having issues with people budging in or stepping in on toes in regards to this?
I've
Is that why
had
you're bringing it up?
incidences with that, yeah.
Yes, it happens.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's happened in the past, not recently to me, but...
Okay, I was just wondering if some recent issues have arisen to bring it up.
I wouldn't say major issues. I would just say, you know, we don't want people getting upset because they feel like they're doing their job the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Just a little bit of trust is all I'm saying.
Well, it's the best way to learn as well.
Right.
Let them do it and then talk to them about what they did right and what they did wrong.
Afterwards, not there.
Yes. Yeah. Don't stop them in the middle of it. Right? I mean, unless it's a really big mistake that's going to get someone killed.
Of course. Of course, yeah.
I mean, Sometimes it's alright with just a little sentence in the middle.
Depends, Brunei. It depends. If I'm negotiating with somebody and I'm clearly, amping that person up, then obviously speak to me. But if I'm, keeping everything in the moment, if I'm keeping everything fine, then wait till after.
I'm more thinking about a certain hunting party that might or might not have happened with 3 individuals that might or might not want to be seniors, and it kept giving suggestions, so I had to tell them to shut up and just follow along.
Right. Okay, that's what I have for that. Now, I do want to talk about moonshine a little bit. There are a lot of deputies who don't know routes, don't know how violent these criminals can be. As Monet said earlier, there's literally documentation on this. I feel like we should urge deputies to look at this documentation that follows with paperwork training. Moonshine, I believe, is funding criminals in ways that benefits them extremely, and it's important to catch them. So just make it clear that there is documentation on it.
We have a document on all where the routes go as well.
Yes, the dossier and the moonshine dossier has literally every information that you can think of. I just don't have profits in there for reasons. I don't want to encourage any deputies to think that they can make more money doing moonshine. But I can let you all know you make about $250, $270 per run. You spend about $75 per. You spend $75, so you would make about $300, but you don't because you have to spend money on sugar. You could get the sugar out of St. Denis. There's a sugarcane field up north. That is a process and a half.
I think it's much more valuable rather than just getting new deputies to read a moonshine dossier, or just actually taking them out and showing them the distilleries, getting them to know some of the routes that particular shack can go to from, so that they understand what New Elizabeth heading east means, or Lemoyne heading west means. Actually, boots on the ground, on the job training when it's quiet. We've got things to do. It's much more valuable doing it that way.
You could always you can always add it to a patrol activity too. If you're on patrol, you could always just do that, especially if a cadet with you.
I've definitely done that. Somebody mentions moonshine, and I just keep talking about it. So I'll cut myself off now. That's all I have written. If anybody else has any concerns that are going on with the department or any ideas, anything like that, then obviously now it's just free reign.
The one thing that I really wanted to bring up is tonics. I
was going to bring that up too.
Yeah, a lot of criminals seem to think that deputies are just popping tonics for firefights and chasing criminals and things like that. And I don't think it's based on nothing, because they're getting deliveries to all of the sheriff's office of things like that, and then deputies are taking them during firefights. And
Yes.
I'm heavily opposed to that.
I am as well. You should not be taking, obviously me, Bolin, and I've had a discussion. Maple, we've had a discussion yesterday very briefly, same with Lynn.
Cool, thank you for the raid, man.
As was said, I mean, you can get injured from tonics, permanent damage, long-term from taking them. We know this. The medical team knows this. They've shared this information. They're definitely dangerous. I don't think it is, sure, it may be beneficial in the time, but it is not beneficial in the long run. It's only going to make criminals try even harder to take us down because we're, quote-unquote, using these to our advantage. And I think it's just a major fucking negative. There was tonics in the Blackwater Sheriff's Office. I asked you about that, Hearst. I had no idea about it. You didn't either. So it definitely is happening. We have had a case where Bell did indeed take tonics in a situation. He's been talked to about that. But
Wait, sorry. Are we banning tonics in the department?
I would like to, in my opinion.
But we haven't yet, though.
No,
we haven't.
It's not, which is why I suppose they were in the office to begin with. But if I remember correctly, and maybe somebody can correct me on it if I'm not, wasn't Bill held hostage and sent in to pick something up, a crate, I think, of tonics out of the office?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Was that looked into, by the way? Because Pruitt told me that he was in the office when Bill came in, and Bill made no indication that he was under duress.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't say anything. So I think with that situation, they had hostages.
Oh,
and they probably
no.
said to Bill, go get that crate from the office, come back with it, and we'll release the hostages.
Yeah.
And Bill came in, got the crate, and left without telling anybody that was there. Even though we were all kind of worried about him because he was acting strangely.
Right. Can I have a senior or two look into that? Because I want to know why he said nothing. It's one thing to not want deputies showing up there, but it's another thing to not mention absolutely anything.
Yeah, I can take a look at
agreed.
No, he could have said, "Do not follow me," but I am in a situation right now.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I
take
would
a
just
look at
say,
it.
like, we do sometimes have people that are, you know, even if a deputy says, I don't want anybody to get hurt, they will say, well, we can't allow this to happen again in the future, so it can't happen this time either. Like, I can understand where he would be coming from in the moment if his concern is making sure that those hostages, which I believe 2 of them were Rangers,
I mean,
got away.
to be clear, Bill has been on thin ice in the past. He has been suspended multiple times. I just want to know what the hell happened in this situation.
Yeah.
I'll take a look into it. I'll talk to Pruitt, get a read on the file, and see what I can do about it.
Yeah. A couple eyes on that, and then just one person that takes a conversation with him if it's needed would be wonderful.
Just to add on to this conversation, I saw a tip earlier today. I think it was from a doctor. I think they were saying something about how criminals were asking about herbs and flowers. So maybe they're trying to make their own tonics at this point.
They're also
Yeah,
looking
they
for
are.
cat carver as well.
Yeah,
I
they
was
are.
just trying to tip about it today.
To be clear, Cat Carver has supplied the department with tonics for close to a year at this point. So that'll be where a lot of the tonics have come from.
And I've never had any issues with using them, and the criminals have been using tonics just as much as we have for just as long. If there's some
That's weird to me though, McGregor, because I've never heard of us using tonics. I've been around for a very long time. I've never seen somebody take a tonic.
This is
I
like
saw
a
boxes
of
of them, and I just thought they were sitting there, like, because they were picked up from somebody, like, criminally.
I've seen them in the office every now and then. I also don't see them in the office more often than not. I mean, if you're taking something like that, it's at your own damn risk. It's not coming from the medical department.
Yeah, so I think the way that they used before, where very few people would maybe take one in very extreme situations, is that kind of went under people's notice. But if you've got 6 deputies riding to Armadillo and all chugging a tonic just before a firefight,
yeah, I think
that's where it's.
No, if you're going into a firefight, don't chug a mystery tonic. You don't know what the hell's in it. I've seen people chug like vials of sugar, those kinds of sugar tonics, just run and have a lot of energy and get on a damn sugar high or something. That's very different than what I've heard about described with these or something.
Yeah, I think there's a more potent one than what Cat makes, which is what all of the criminals are after. That's why they're robbing the sheriff's office. And they also think that's what deputies are doing, 6 people taking a tonic. And I think, to be honest with you, it might have happened. And when I was leading a patrol once, somebody said to me, yeah, let's just go buy strawberry first so we can all grab a tonic before we went out west for a situation.
Right.
So I stopped that immediately, but that rumor is spreading and it's quite harmful.
Yeah, we just need to make sure people aren't doing that
I
on duty all the time.
I think at this point, if that's really an issue, let's stop ordering tonics from Cat, and if people want the tonics, then they're gonna have to supply them their own.
That's actually a pretty good compromise, and it'll get those damn boxes out of the offices.
Too many goddamn boxes.
That's fine. If people take that on themselves personally, fine. If it becomes an issue, address them personally. But they don't need to be sitting in the office. That's fine.
No more tonics. No more tonics. No more tonics.
All right.
Okay, anything
so
else?
The consensus there is that we are not supplying the we as a department are not supplying the tonics any longer.
Yes.
And we are not, we as leaders of the department will not be passing them out before going into a situation.
People need to supply them on their own. If they really want to use them, they need to get them on their own.
Store them on their own and use them at their own discretion. I think that's fair.
Yes.
They'll make sure everybody's doped up before firefight.
No, if somebody is turning and asking that, yell at them and then continue forward.
Sometimes I use one on a foot pursuit just to make sure I can catch up. That's the only one I use.
I mean, like I said, the sugar high, yeah.
Alright.
I don't know anything about any others, so.
So, from today, officially, we'll stop buying the tonics.
It's like no
for the
pixel.
offices. That also means
People
that they
take
won't take
cocaine.
them from us either, and we'll be
Fucking
supplying
cops
criminals
eating
who
donuts.
Thieve out of the offices.
Yep.
And you have to get it yourself.
Yep.
Okay.
Little sip maple.
Okay. Any other concerns?
Maple is the source of the super
suggestions?
soldier serum. Okay, eat your carrot cake.
Mine's more of a petty one, but boxes. Can we stop having 16 boxes in the Blackwater office? Thank you.
They
are-
This is a
they are
monthly
only
fucking.
supposed to be 3
report.
boxes in each office. That's the maximum. That has been a rule for a year.
Just
So
throw them out. You see them in there in excess, throw them out. I don't care.
there should be one for food, one for canteens, and one for horse feed, and that's it. And the purpose of them are for when we're in a hurry and someone's like, I need to get food. Grab it from the box so we don't have to wait 10 minutes for everyone to run around and get food. That's what they're there for.
What about
If
when?
there's other stuff in it, then throw them. Toss it.
What about when civilians bring us like crates of food to feed us?
Eat the food, please.
Yeah.
Don't let
Eat
it
it,
sit the
store
fucking
it.
food out there.
Then get rid of the box or give it back to them.
I actually have a thing we could go through. Came to me yesterday that there was someone that wanted to give a criminal lower time if they returned their own gun that they somehow gotten or stolen from them. Well, how do we feel about people lowering people's criminal time for their personal weapons? I told them a hard no because I figured it would sound somewhat corrupt. But,
I think it would depend if it was a robbery charge. If it was their specific robbery charge, perhaps. But if it's like a separate
Get someone else to
situation,
do it. If there's another
I think
deputy
that would
in
be a
the office,
problem.
just
Mm-hmm.
tell
I
them
mean,
to
if we're
do it.
talking about like a 20% reduction or something, like I don't.
yeah,
think
this
it's
was
an
a
issue.
20% reduction if they came in peacefully and handed back the weapon, but the 20% reduction was on a murder charge. So
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
that is extreme.
Alright, well then I feel like I know what everyone thinks. Thank you.
I think
Yeah, like I think if you're giving a significant amount of property back, not like one personal weapon, but like a number of handcuffs and departmental property or like stolen property, whatever.
I don't know.
and you were
Loophole.
using that
The
to
loophole for
negotiate
this is
a
to just
deal,
give
and you
reductions
have
in time served.
multiple days.
Like-
I've seen that be acceptable before, but yeah, I wouldn't say give me my weapon that you stole from me back and I'll cut 20% off your murder charge. That's
I mean, I've done large weapon return deals. I've never gone over 100 days for one gun. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
To give you any kind of reference point.
Gotta be a pretty nice one too for that.
Yeah.
I would say.
It's usually a civilian gun. I've had people try and barter my gun back to me, and I tell them to go fuck themselves. I don't care.
Yeah, the deputy said that it has been done before by many other deputies, so I was just wondering if this was
It
something we
shouldn't.
might have heard before.
It shouldn't be too steep. If it's a large amount, that's one thing. But if it's one gun, I'd say usually it comes down to just that theft charge on that specific file. Can be looked at and adjusted, but it wouldn't lower their murder charge. That's unrelated.
Yeah. Alright.
Any other concerns?
Yeah.
Seems we are alright. When it comes to everything written down, I don't assume we are gonna give everything out to the deputies.
No.
That's your days of tonic.
No, I'm gonna
We'll
be making
comb
a
through.
senior. Yeah, I'm gonna bring up a senior compiled notes, and then we'll think about writing maybe a little announcement about a few certain things like the tonics and such.
Yeah, everything that's more of like can be generally said, like the tonics and such. That's fine. Making deals doesn't necessarily need to be an announcement.
Bro, literally
Okay.
just
You
Time
guys
served.
think that the 16th would
Increase
work
the
every
time
single
served.
month for a meeting?
I mean, we can find out.
Yeah, we can try it.
I think rather than the 16th all the time,
I think
maybe like
A Sunday.
trying to stick to like a weekend or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely on a weekend.
I would just start a new file about it and write down everything that may
I really don't want to
discussed
do a
also.
file. I don't want to do a file right now. I'd wait maybe 2 weeks beforehand, then make a file.
Yeah, but like, let's say if nothing comes up, I don't think we need to have a meeting. Like, if there's only one thing that needs to be discussed,
Agreed.
If we need to come together.
Have we considered having having a meeting just after the monthly meeting we always have anyway? Like we have.
That's a headache, though. You've already gotten so much information from that meeting. Then to have another meeting, your brain's gonna be not comprehending everything. You know what I mean?
I'm already coming out of another meeting with sheriffs, and I really don't want to be listening to so many meetings in one day. So just give it that as a reference point.
Gotcha.
There's a monthly meeting.
Second Sunday of the month.
McGregor.
No, yeah, I'm usually busy and I can't make that. Sorry.
Yep. It's okay.
Well, thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you.
Hour and a half.
There is one thing, and it's Maple. I'm using you as the example because you just happen to be the person that put it up.
Oh.
These announcement files that basically say shoot this person on sight. Do not be encouraging with that kind of language. People to shoot a description, and only a description, please. We need to not be having that. I'm looking at the seer file, in particular.
I'll add more details to that.
More details. Lose the shoot on sight wording of it, which is very bad. The no reductions wording is also, not leaving room for anything. They're basically going to approach her if they find her and say you're coming in or else. Let them try and get that peacefully.
I think you could say something like they can't be trusted, like no deals, like I'll come back later, something like that. I don't know how you'd word it so it's brief, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't think coming back later is acceptable in some circumstances. People like
specifically with this situation, she should not be letting walk.
Yes.
Okay, but
that's
that's what I'm saying.
But the shoot on sight tone of it, I do take issue with because we have had deputies shoot the wrong people before, and I don't want people shooting off the wrong description if she's changed anything, or God forbid somebody looks like her.
By the way, she's changed the description.
Is she blonde now? Apparently, is from what I'm hearing.
She has stolen some blonde wigs from. She murdered someone today. She murdered the barber on Valentine. She stole some blonde wigs from that little barber cranny. We found out where she was living. She's living in an unfinished house out by Emerald Ranch.
I'll start
We
this
found
out
some
as
bloody
less
footprints
aggressive.
leading into the woods close to the ranger.
I mean,
tower.
personally,
There's a little hut.
Maple thinks she should be shot on
There's
that
a
site.
large barrel of some sort of disgusting smelling tonic in that, and she has left a note saying she is going to lead someone there and force them to drink it.
Oh, we'll get some deputies. There you go.
Yeah, the first thing I did was update that with potential description that she's most likely blonde now.
Might
I'll
be blonde.
write out that report.
Don't know about clothes, but yeah, she could look like anything at this point. So.
We just want to be careful with notices like that, with the nature of how they come off and how a deputy could perceive it. That's just in general. Maple, you just happened to be the person that had one up this morning.
No, I mean, honestly, I wrote that after taking Lucia's statement, and I don't know if you guys have read Lucia's statement. It is horrendous.
I'm not trying to say, treat this person nicely by
Absolutely.
any
No,
means.
I will reword it accordingly. I completely understand exactly what you mean.
Perfect. Thank you.
And just to wrap everything up real quick, a while back, it was like sometime last month, there was a woman dubbed Carmen that was found up by tall trees that remarkably resembled the seer. She was living up by the tall trees at the cannibal camp there and had babe elites everywhere and a whole bunch of... There's a lot of similarities to the seer, essentially. And I've managed to connect some things over towards the autumn harvest on something indicating that she might be around again this coming August. So if you don't catch her before August, just let's try to get these two confused, because it seems like they're going to have a lot of similarities here. If there's something that's going to go on with them.
There's also another seer. There's quite a few people going by seer, and I had an incident with it the other day where people were targeting the wrong one.
Yeah, we definitely need to be very careful about that.
Yeah, we think there might be some vigilante groups chasing this seer as well, so that's not a good combination. Multiple seers and Some of them are innocent and a vigilante group, so something to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Actually, now that you mentioned vigilantism, this has nothing to do with that, but maybe, you know, doing the same thing that you would with the Ranger Corps, the Medical Corps with civilians. You know.
I actually agree with that. I think we should be sharing more information with honest civilians.
Yeah. Also, there have been cases where civilians are being absolutely fucked by criminals. We can put them into witness protection or, you know, maybe go with them places, escort them and stuff like that. That is always an option. If they need to go out hiding, you can also help them hide as well. If they don't feel comfortable going somewhere, lead them there, maybe stay outside for a little while, get them comfortable. We need to start building rapport with civilians, and we're gonna need it because they're huge when it comes to information.
Yeah, and if you need financial help to support somebody that needs to be going into hiding, just reach out to a sheriff. I mean, obviously y'all have probably plenty of money, but if you need assistance, we do not mind helping that.
There were actually two topics I wanted to read up briefly. And one that I've noticed is people are starting to cherry pick again on responding to certain situations, and some situations are not responded to until very, very late, or they just aren't responded to, which means we're losing out on information we could be gathering by going to these situations. So I'd like to put up you know, when we're going to make this general announcement, put that up that they need to respond to everything.
Agreed, I noticed that, but the other day as well. Like, at the end of the day, people are tired and they're on duty, but they're not responding to all the tips. It's like, if you're tired, go off duty.
Yep.
If you're on duty, yeah, go do it.
Yeah, please do not feel like you can't kick people out of the office if they're being like that. If they're just sitting in the office as a social hour, this is not a bar. Kick them out.
Let me stem off of that. If you hear a deputy saying they hate Valentine, can you please tell them something? Can you, like, fucking, you know,
force them to Valentine?
Say something about that to them, because we should not have deputies saying in the middle of the street, I fucking hate Valentine. That looks absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if a deputy is tired and keeps saying, I've been running around all day, tell them to go off duty and get some fucking rest. Otherwise, they may be doing their job poorly. Same thing goes for you guys as well. If you guys are saying you hate Valentine, I'm probably gonna fucking yell at you. Same thing with Rhodes.
Oh, I'll yell right back at you. Big boy.
The second thing, very briefly, is there's a suggestion made on making the sheriff's department stables senior plus, because we've had a lot of horses go missing. I don't know how you want to see that.
Right.
But
I can tell you why they go missing. It's because the cadets end up falling in love with them and they don't return the horses, alright? That's exactly why it happens, and quite honestly, that is not the fight I'm about to go pick and have to watch all the time. I don't know if anybody else cares to, but I don't care.
Yeah, it was under someone else's suggestion, so I figured I'd bring it up.
Cadets have also, you know, I don't know where they go, but they've gone missing. Like William Campbell, I gave one of the horses from the stables, and I haven't seen him in quite a while.
Yeah, I've lost personal horses from giving them to cadets too who didn't make it through the program, so it's just a fact of life sometimes.
Yeah.
Who made that suggestion? Who got hurt by their horse going missing?
The one who made it, which is Rip.
God damn.
Of course, Rip. Of course.
Yeah, okay. That checks out. I know he was the one that made it, so that makes sense.
If that was a rule, then Kiwi would not still have senior grubs. And that would be a travesty.
I mean, if it becomes a financial burden, then we just stop doing the stable in general, and we close our lease in towns with it. It's just as easy as it is.
I think you only donate a horse there if you're ready for it to go missing forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I donated 4 horses knowing they might go missing.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Speaking of personal things, if somebody has a personal conflict in a situation, they probably shouldn't be there.
I mean, that's
I disagree.
cadet stuff that we teach cadets, so I would expect you all everyone to know that, yeah.
I strongly disagree with that, in fact.
I would find a
Are
situation.
you being serious though, McGregor, about that?
I am
Or are you?
being very serious about that.
Okay.
I have a strong
I'm
hate for
situated.
Valentine's. You didn't ever go there then? It's okay.
Why do you disagree, McGregor?
I think if we start doing that, then it's you're losing a great disadvantage, and you're also or you're losing a great advantage you could get in that situation, and you're also showing a distrust to members of the department. And now, if they're showing you that they can't handle themselves, that's different.
That's what I mean. I guess I should have elaborated a little bit more.
Well, like, if that's my cousin over there, and you're like, McGregor, you can't go over there. That's your cousin. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's not. That's
but I'm
not what
fine.
I meant.
So if it comes to the point where it is becoming a problem, which it has sometimes, and it is not infrequent that it becomes a problem, and I have removed people off of things because it has become a problem, that is the line. If it becomes a problem for people in the department, or it becomes something where it is a risk, if that person is the one responding to it, they will be removed off of it, just to be abundantly clear.
Yeah.
The other thing is, with people in direct relationships, should not be the ones criticizing each other. As you all probably saw on that file with the Briggs situation, I do not want that happening whatsoever. It is inappropriate, and it will not happen again.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
She reprimanded her wife.
Oh.
Was
a little bit like Briar reprimanding me.
biased.
No, they shouldn't be involved in that at all. Okay.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
Common sense isn't always common, you know.
Well, yes.
Just
Is there
to
anything
go back to the
else, or-
Valentine thing very quickly. Sanctum today, I met two nuns of the Valentine Church, and I thanked one of them. I asked one of them for forgiveness for killing an old lady in the Valentine Church, and she looked at me, raised her hands, and said, "Let me shake your hand, young man. Thank you." That's why I hate Valentine.
And on that note, I say we call this meeting to a close.
Okay, that's a good time to wrap, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Hurst, if you want to take a look at that report, I've reworded it already. Let me know if that's better.
Oh dear.
Good luck on the field, everyone. Keep your chins up as always.
Yep. Stay safe, everyone here.
Stay safe.
Back to our favorite town, Valentine.
Zoe, you want to ride
Yeah.
with me for a minute?
No, not
Yeah,
bad.
love to.
Hurst, I won't bother you with it today because I have to get some rest myself. But I've sent you a telegram and they've put your name into the directory file.
Yes, I
Damn.
saw the telegram. I didn't have the time to respond to it the other
That's
day.
alright. Take the time whenever you're ready.
Perfect.
But one big plus that I've thought of, this is gonna blow everyone's brain, that the fact that we didn't do it. For working the tree, if you're going from point 1 to point 2, let's say from the main directory to trainings, then how about in trainings there would be a little link going back to the directory, so that you can actually go back up the tree. Now that would be lovely. Meaning that you can go down the tree, but also up the tree. If that makes sense.
So you're saying to add our own back button.
Correct. That is my invention.
I'm done. I'm done with this.
It's perfect.
I hate it here. I hate everything about this.
How did we never think about this?
How did we not think about this?
How did we not think about this?
We built that over like that file took 5 hours to write, okay? I was tired by the end of it.
Oh my god, that's a brilliant idea, Monet.
Oh my god, I'm done. I'm done. I
I'll
never
take
want to
the
look at that
promotion next
file.
week, thank
I
you.
never want to look at that file ever again.
Did you guys read that, by the way? Is it written better now?
Okay, sorry. Distracted.
Oh, hello.
I hope that makes you excited to reading my telegram in the proposal. Alright, let's get back to my favorite town.
Yes, that is completely fine.
Okay, wonderful.
Much better wording, thank you.
Yeah, admittedly, I wrote it after taking Lucille's statement, and I was
Yeah, it just the way it came off. Is
Oh,
not
100%.
the
I
way
completely
want anybody
understand.
Approaching it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Are we forgetting somebody there? Is that somebody's horse?
No, it's a good meeting.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna assume somebody doubled up. I don't understand why that's there.
Maybe been Zoe and McGregor.
Oh,
McGregor
maybe.
did ask to ride with Zoe for a moment.
Gotcha. That's probably it.
No, less than 2 hours is pretty ideal.
Aye.
Hour to an hour and a half if we do it monthly.
I think that was a pretty good
think too much
meeting.
a bad thing.
I agree.
Excuse me. Sound of Rolling Thunder is the best.
What's everyone doing now? People going on duty, going to bed?
I'm going to bed.
I got a strawberry to do my task.
All right, I'm gonna be heading to the telegram station.
Getting money.
There's a lot of people here.
Yep.
I'm gonna head to Strawberry to get those meeting notes up. Where are you headed, Cameron?
You know what? I'm going to come with you, Strawberry, at least.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I guess an update. Nothing's going on. Wonderful. I'm gonna stay off duty for a moment. I want to do a thing. I want to do a thing. We're gonna stay off duty for just a minute.
Probably gonna have another.
I wanna do some RP. I wanna do some off-duty RP. I wanna do some off-duty roleplay. Roxanne.
No,
Nice to meet
sorry.
you, Sheriff. I'm Kate.
Nice to meet you.
Excuse me, mister.
Enjoy. Still can't believe Roxanne hasn't poisoned Maple yet. Like I think a little kind of mini date yolk. I think. We're gonna take her shooting. We're gonna take her shooting. So she's not at the bottle tree here. It's about time Maple started developing. It was about time. RoboCop Maple has completed his RoboCop arc. Let's see if she's still here. And if she's not, and she's your telegram, hopefully she'll meet us in Rhodes. Roxanne is brand new. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Yeah, Roxanne is a new thing. Do 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 do. Losing my religion. Na, 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 na. Not just in regards to you, there's so many other examples of characters I only see around working. Those players who prefer that style have no gripes. Like to see actual people. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey Maple, how you doing?
Doing alright. Who the fuck's that guy? Last time I watched Maple, he was trying to get with another senior deputy. I can't remember. Yeah, that was a senior deputy. Oh, at the time, she wasn't a senior deputy. Maple, she ended up becoming a senior deputy. Maple was with Chevalier, but she left. She went to bye-bye. And she told Maple to, like, not wait for her. Do 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 do. Not the duty face. Na 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 na. Bam 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 ba bum bum ba da. In this crate. Food, smokes. Dun, 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 dun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Na, na. Na, 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 na. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Yeah, it's like it's more of a title than an actual in-game rank. Alright. I don't think my off-duty plan is going to work, at least not right now. Mainly because I don't think they're around on that character right now. Am I wondering? The time will come. Do, 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 do. I don't think so, no. Maple is also here. They might have the access in the Discord. They are marked as undersheriff in Discord. But not in game. Do do. Do 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 do. Well, I guess it's work time. Work time, work time. Should I make Roxanne guns yet? Are we at that point? I kind of want to save my money. Kind of want to save my money. Her birthday was in January. She actually didn't tell me an exact date. She said the end of January. She didn't tell me the date. I think we're at 4.5 grand, Maddie. The thing is that I am also saving money for like the new update. When that update pushes through. Do do doom do doom 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 doom. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff to spend money on in the new update. We have a lot on duty right now. Like, a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, you know what? 23 on duty right now. I am so hyped for this update, man. Like when this update comes out, bro, it is gonna be hype as fuck. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a real good time. These are. Where are they going? Why are they go that way? I mean, I honestly might just make her or gift her that one lich field that I got, just like, cause I don't remember. I got it from a raffle. I won a raffle. So I just kind of have a lich field, and I think it's relatively uncustomized. And I do feel like Snubnose is kind of her style as well.
Is it a maple?
It might be.
Okay, I need all of you to stay here.
Why?
I am about to make a trade for my rifle in exchange, or I'm gonna trade Wallaby's rifle to him in exchange for my rifle.
Okay.
I don't want him robbing me again.
Where's the trade happening at?
It's gonna happen right here in the middle of town.
Wonderful.
Fucking brilliant.
Bro, what if Roxanne wasn't even her real name? Hey, Jenny. What if Roxanne wasn't even her real name? Oh man, that would be.
I gotta send him a telegram.
Nathan, did you forget my name?
I did, yes.
That's Nadia.
Hey, what did he write? Oh, and Sanctum +1 to roads.
I'm sorry. Does this say that y'all have left Fort Mercer? Did y'all go have your senior meeting in Fort Mercer for shits and giggles?
Oh, I should have said Fort Wallace. Oops. We should have though. That would have been funny.
That would have been fucking hilarious, but concerning.
I'm gonna send him a telegram.
That would have been great. Just have a fucking senior meeting in Fort Mercer.
What meeting in Fort Mercer?
I accidentally wrote down in the telegram that the update telegram that we were done our meeting at Fort Mercer instead of Fort Wallace.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. This fucking wanting list.
Yep.
How is Mills wanted for less days now?
Probably just adjustments to his charges. Though it's possible he was suspected for being a part of a situation that he also wasn't a part of, so that could have been charges removed as well.
Ah, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's like 200 days less, that's all.
It could have just been a general kind of notch down on a number of charges.
Makes sense.
Now we wait.
Wonderful.
Wallaby's on his way here. Actually, I don't know if he is on his way yet.
Did
I'm
I
gonna
update the
trade
date for today?
Or his rifle for my
Is it
rifle.
is it day 13 or is it day 14? Was yesterday's stream day 14 or day 13? Or was yesterday day 12?
Alliance.
How many days have I been streaming consecutively?
If you could stay
I think
around
I
town,
might need to take a day off.
that'd be great.
Yeah, I can do that. You think you come along?
I think I need to
Probably
take a
not.
day off.
He's not wanted, so I mean, there's a chance, but you never know.
Or like maybe a shorter day.
It would be dumb to bring anyone that is wanted.
That's his gun.
Yep. That's with B fucked.
Be fucked? What the fuck?
Yeah, B fucked. I don't know.
Today should be 14? Oops. Hold on.
Also nice to see you, Maple.
I'm just gonna fix it quickly because I could do it. Doing all right. I already fixed it. It's just a quick fix for me to make. Not you don't have to write out the entire thing.
I want that rifle back. I based it off of Monroe's gun. Okay, I already forgot your name. Is it, you said Nadia?
Yeah, it's Nadia. You know, like Nadia business.
Clever.
I try. I really do. Sometimes a little too hard.
Yeah. Should have been named Nunya. I think that would have been better.
Oh my god, that would have been great.
Nunya.
But no, it's Nadia. Or Taylor's, I suppose, but I prefer Nadia.
Mario Lowback, I thought I heard someone say his name the other day. Yeah, he was a couple nights ago.
I know some folk in the department prefer to go by last names.
I'm leaning back to it right now. I have this urge that today's gonna be kind of fucking boring. I'm not too sure why. But I do. Ba 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 da ba 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 ba. Maybe that's why I'm saying it, Maddie.
I like the way that you've changed the announcement, Maple. This should always be our utmost priority. From what you had it before. What you had it before.
Like, I mean, I have very much of the belief that if she doesn't surrender, she should be shot. But I wrote what I had wrote before. I had literally just finished taking Lucia's statement. And I don't know if you guys read Lucia's statement.
It's understandable.
I was incensed, and so I wrote that in reflection. Yeah, it seems like it's been quiet today.
Oh, they call it a fucking moonshiner, Mickey McGee.
Mickey McGee.
Please, not the McGees. Oh, no. I can't. Yeah, it's an interesting group.
What is this ammo scam?
I don't fucking know.
Apparently, these guys are claiming they have express rifle ammunition.
I literally have no clue what you're talking. Yeah, there is. But at the same time, no pixel on weekends is also fucking dead as shit. So that's like, ugh. Might just be like I don't know. It might just be like
Okay, the part that's confusing me is why is this a report? Is it just to let us know that these guys have express rifle ammunition? Like, is it any better than what we have already? I mean, I'm assuming so. It's express, right?
What the fuck does express mean?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I emphasized on it.
What does expressed rifle ammunition mean? Does it fly faster? Like, what the fuck? Sounds like a load of bullshit to me. Sundays are always quiet. I'm just gonna, like, clean my mouse while we chill here.
So Sax apparently wants to charge him. If Bart is caught selling express rifle ammunition, he wants to take. He threatens them with taking them in for questioning, but we don't have charges in regards to this. And if it's actually a different type of round, then it wouldn't be fraud, because they're selling an actual product, not labeling it a product in claiming that it is one. You know what I mean? So we couldn't charge them even if we wanted to. I get where Sachs is coming from when it comes down to if this rifle ammo is any more dangerous than what we have already. I get why you would want to stop him from selling it. But can we stop him? Probably not.
I'm just cleaning my mouse while we're just here. Ban Krober? Oh.
Partner?
Suppose that could be an option. Yeah, you've missed literally nothing, Crow. Oh, rolling the new serious crim? No. No. I don't have an intention to roll a serious crim. I don't have a drive to do so right now. I don't have a desire.
Apparently Jacob Dubois is turning a new leaf.
Is that right?
Yeah, his sister came to me and Lynn and turned herself in and was expressing how Jacob Dubois wants to, and herself wants to turn a new leaf. Now, she did seem like she was under distress. I don't know if he was forcing her to do so or what was going on there. She did claim that she was very scared of deputies. She doesn't trust them, etc., etc. Her voice was very shaky. She was shaking. She also said she was, didn't want to be in a cell. She was scared of Sisika. So I'm not entirely sure if she was just scared of going to Sisika or if she was scared of what Jacob Dubois would do to her. She did say that she was influenced by Jacob Dubois to do things that she did not want to do.
Ooh.
Which could paint the picture that he is forcing her to do things, like, again, that she does not want to do.
I see.
She was urged by myself and Lynn to maybe cut ties with him. She said it's harder than we think. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. I don't know if Jacob Dubois is indeed turning a new leaf. You know how it is.
Could just be a front to get a clean record to get some heat off his back. Can be hard to do a certain business with law breathing down your neck.
Oh, Alice took revenge for his fish. Yes, she severed his finger, his ring finger, to end the engagement between him and Fiverr.
No, that was that was done back in March.
Oh, that was done back in March?
Yeah, he recently got his revenge on her, I believe, is the issue.
Yeah.
Why are these on DNA?
The report details it.
In 3 days, on the 18th of July, she can be arrested for this.
Yep.
Why wasn't she arrested then, though?
I believe the report details it's active. I think it had to do with one of her injuries, based off her injuries, the fact that, Fish was just sent to
Fish did not
Sisika.
give enough. Fish didn't give enough details to the situation.
Yeah, she, I think, was the one who ended up, confessing to law that she did it. And so, with that, she confessed, and so we gave her sort of like a reward, I guess, for cooperating, Like, all right, you told us this, so we'll let you have a couple days, and then you're going in for it.
Okay, so we gave her 3 days, but we maxed out the charges.
Looks to be the case, yeah. It's, McGregor and, I think it was McGregor's case. McGregor and Holt, I think.
Thorne's name is written on there multiple times.
Oh, there you go. Dude. Let me check the tip line quick.
gonna take a piss real quick. If Wallaby turns up, that's where I am.
What you mean by this?
What?
If Wallaby turns up, where are you going to be? I won't. Where is this?
I need to take a piss.
Oh, that's you. That's what you want me to tell him. I thought you were saying if Wallaby appears, I never see you again. That's for your event. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
See what I see. Yeah.
All right. I guess nobody's going to go check Tipland, so I will do it myself. Like I said, guys, busy day. Busy day. Do 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 do. Oh, fuck me, man. I don't. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. I might actually have to go to No Pixel tonight. At least for a few hours. And just hope that something's going on there instead. Because I'm bored out of my fucking mind, and like if I don't, then like I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do tonight for the stream. Like, honestly. Like, I don't know, my concern is just that, like, No Pixel's gonna be just as boring, but, like, even a slow day on No Pixel is so much better than a dead day on Wild. In terms of just my own enjoyment.
Yeah, I mean, someone asked me to give feedback. I give honest feedback.
And, like, I mean, what, Ripley, Lamb,
Nothing against you. You know, he's just
Bloom,
comfortable with you. So I
Knight,
said, you know, we want to be professional work environments.
Scully, Brielle,
that's something I
Carter,
see,
York.
you know?
Like, there's a lot of good
Yeah.
people on duty.
Yeah, he's just a little too mousy for me, you know. We're not that good of friends yet, you know.
Bro, the last tip we got. So there was a tip at 8:25 in regards to Seth Boone being spotted.
Random question for you. On the
Check
port
in,
for hanging
relocating, check
do you trust
in.
me to go through
Fiverr and
some of the
Emerald.
paperwork that it is just kind of irrelevant. If you want, I can give you case references. But there are some incidents here that he's
Check-in
not being charged
request.
with anything, and he's just doing weird, creepy shit.
Man
I
looking
can,
for
I
Zoe
can
in
take
black.
the evidence and put it in one file so it's not lost.
A
and
stolen
documented,
wagon.
But I would say we archive some of this. Like, there's one where he just ties a knife, a little knot to a knife in Ansburg, but that is a report someone might look through, you know?
Okay, I think cataloging that is important because it can show a pattern in the future.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That's like the double.
Our last tip
you know,
for
but
crime
As you said, I don't
was
think we'll prove this,
7:09
whatever.
p.m.
If you
It
summarize
is
it, maybe give
9:27.
a reference to it, then that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Just to get rid of some of them. Because I look at someone, I'm like, barely anything. Thank you.
I'm gonna check my telegrams.
Fuck me, man. I can't do this, man. I can't do this. I can't do this. Problem is now, even when something does happen, everyone can't respond. Yep. I'm going to make my way to Strawberry. If nothing is needed by the time I get to Strawberry, I'm going to sleep. Do 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 do. Yeah, Yolk, I think I'm gonna jump to NoPixel because, like, I'm bored of shit. And I don't... I mean, I don't know what else, in terms of, like, variety, I could play right now, either that, you know, a lot of people would like to watch. You know, I do need to try and stick. I kind of need to have a constant sort of consciousness while I have this kind of push to a partner that, like, my viewer count does matter during this push. It is literally the only thing that is holding me back from partner is my average viewer cap. So it's something that I need to kind of keep conscious of. And, you know, I do need to go where I get the views. And with my past experiences, right now, when I play variety games, the viewer count is not there. With the exception of, I think, you know, if I'm playing with people. But I need people to play said variety games with. Like, if that were to come up, 100%. But, well, I can't. And I did mention it before. I do have something sort of in mind and in the works for the sub goal from back in February. The sub goal from back in February, the collab stream. There is something that I am planning, a little bit of a surprise for everybody. No, that's something that's in the works that is also dependent on some other things that are happening. There's a lot of exciting shit that might happen this week. Especially with Wild. There's a lot of exciting shit that might happen this week. Spawn to a shootout, no pixel. People need cop POV. Facts! Always. I haven't gotten very many shootouts on no pixel. Most of the shootouts I've gotten in on no pixel, I got like gunned down immediately because I was still in the UPD vest and I was a fucking beacon. I don't think I've gotten in a shootout on no pixel as LSPD yet. With exception to I think maybe the Chain Gang one, where the oil tanker was blown the fuck up. Yeah, Hydration Night, I think, is the only shootout I've been in any time recently on NoPixel. Bro, Hydration Night was so much fucking fun. That night was such a good time. I had so much fun. Ba-da-ba. Do 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 do. Going through that VOD to split it up was hilarious. Was there a lot of good moments in it? Because if there was, we should probably take clips from it. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to take clips from that VOD, because that was a fun fucking night. There were so many good moments on that night that I think would be a lot of fun to watch. I think top tier was Brielle. Oh my god. Well, SB. SB wasted no time. We still have 21 on duty. Like, bro, I like that. Alright. Let's get, can I get a title change and, game change? He's not a serial killer, he's like a serial kidnapper. Let's get a title change and a game change. Cadet Maple 697, Pipe LSPD, Pipe, No Pixel, RP Whitelist 3.0, and Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm gonna send a telegram to Roxanne. Hey Valentine, long time no see.
Howdy, Maple. How are you doing?
I'm going the fuck to bed because there hasn't been a crime tip in over 2.5 hours, and I'm going insane.
2.5 hours?
Okay, so there was a tip that just came in now, likely from SB. There's 2 people responding to it. Valentine, there's 21 people on duty. Our last criminal tip that came in was a moonshine run. That was at 7:09 p.m. and it is 9:37 right now. I'm going the fuck to sleep.
Yeah, I just woke up and I want to go back to bed.
Oh, except now the bell's ringing. You know, of course, when I say I'm gonna go to bed, the bell starts ringing. Look, go see what it is. No, what is it? What is it?
Bank robbery, Blackwater, and we're gonna respond to it.
If it's there, I'll respond to it, and then go to bed after.
Go to bed now if you want to sleep.
Oh my god, it's Rhodes. I was in Rhodes, dude. I came from Rhodes. I'm going the fuck to bed. I go to bed. There's 21 people on duty. Everyone can take care of it. Yeah. There's 21 fucking people on duty, man. Honestly. Like, I don't need to be a part of it. Thank you, Yoke. I appreciate it. It might be. Ba 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 ba. Do. Did I say someone stir crazy? It says somewhat stir crazy? Whatever. I can't be fucking bothered. I can't be fucking bothered. I can't be asked. Alright. Swap it. Committed.